another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku, another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku, another Savior.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPOB families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 Adumebujuku is another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 Adumebujuku is another Savior. Holy, 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 Adumebujuku is another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. Inyamadika yabika kwa namno wao. Hey, anamekele mazuche mefo. Mwanemo, it's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along, holy, 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 Nandekano is another Savior. Just sing along, holy, 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 Nandekano is another Savior. When I sing along, holy, 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 is another Savior. Getting it right and getting it faster now. Holy, 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 is another Savior. Holy, holy, get it moving right, moving faster, get the freedom. Is another Savior. Yeah, for freedom. Holy, 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 Nandekano is another Savior.
right, enough of all that. So, all right, enough of all that, but never enough of this. Good day to you, good to be in your company. Or that, good day to you, good to be in your company. And how are you? I hope you are having a gloriously wonderful day so far. So, twice as nice. One man went to mow, buy one, get one free. So, one man went to mow, buy one, get one free. Our second outing today, head into tomorrow now, where I am, around about 1 a.m. But no rest for the wicked, and the wicked shall know no rest. So no rest for the wicked, and the wicked shall know no rest. All matters Nigeria, of course, nothing else to discuss other than all matters Nigeria. The protocol remains the same. Click on the like button just as soon as I invite you to do so. Please do so. Click on like as I have a sip of water. Click on the like button. If you are not already subscribed, then please correct that by subscribing immediately and right now. Like and subscribe is the short version of that. Like and subscribe. Share the links just as you can as well. So copy the links, put it in your WhatsApp spaces, all of those spaces that you move around on social media. Make sure that the links are as extensively shared as you possibly can. So share the links near and wide. Share it to your friends, your enemies, and even your frenemies. Share it to everyone. Share the links, copy it, spread the news that one man went to mow is out again. So like, share, subscribe, share the links just as widely as you can. Make use of the dollar sign at the bottom of the screen to super chat towards the platform. So super chat towards the platform, and more importantly, say hello in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. Um, Click on the hyperlink that says stream here to come and join us on the screen. Super chat towards the stream and say hello comment section. So say hello. We always try like to start it off with niceties, and with niceties we start it off in this instance as well. So we'll be discussing Christopher Musa, of course. You've seen the headline page. But first, the hellos. That's a song right there. Has Valiant, not only bandits, add the BH. There's a lot of hope pinning on Christopher Musa, and it looks as though he may well have the shoulders to deliver, but only the shortness of time, not the fullness of time, because we don't have full time anymore. It's within the shortest possible time that we want to start seeing results in that space. So that's a sound right there. Delighting in Christopher Musa, I suspect. That's Gladys saying hello, good evening to everyone. Good evening to you, Gladys. Maybe one of these days you actually come and join us on the screen. We're looking to start reintroducing the female sessions. Do you know those sessions that are usually hosted by our female members? We want to start to reintroduce that. Maybe you want to join that, or you could come and talk politics as well. That's to you, Gladys. That's Sheson Afashia right there saying hello and inviting you to please like and share as you come in. So like and share as you come in, if not as guided by me, certainly as directed by Sheson right there. So do all that, like, share, subscribe, click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard, super chat towards the stream, say hello in the comment section. All the usual funky stuff. Do those play that funky music for me, white boy. Play that funky music for me, white boy. That's Jimmy right there. I'm not quite sure if we're coming across Jimmy for the first time, but that's Jimmy right there. Also delighting in the choice of Christopher Musa. So it seems to be a popular choice. But what led us to this space where Christopher Musa is now it's about to be, because the confirmation now, his name has been sent to the Senate, and as we know, the Senate in Nigeria is but a mere rubber stamp. So we are expecting the attention to that choice. And very quickly, in the course of this week, Christopher Musa to take full charge then of the defense structurings of the Nigerian state. But what does that mean with regards to our battle against banditry? In the shortest possible time, we get to find out. But what led to Christopher Musa occupying that post? That post was not previously vacant until Badaru resigned. Defense Minister Badaru resigned on health grounds. I think it was actually the same excuse that was used by what Ganduje, wasn't it? So it looks as though health reasons is now the citation now for asking people to step aside. And don't be surprised, by the way, if they give this guy a ministerial position, because they always give them some sort of soft landing. But that is what made that position vacant for Christopher Musa then to be able to occupy it. Defense Minister Badaru resigns on health grounds. So the vacation of that space, Nigeria Defense Minister Alhaji Mohammed Badaru has resigned from his position, citing health reasons. The President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onuga, confirmed the development in a statement released on Monday. In his resignation letter, Badaru reportedly cited poor health as the reason for stepping down. President Tinubu will likely inform the Senate of Badaru's successor later this week. His resignation comes amidst President Tinubu's declaration of a national security emergency with plans to elaborate on its scope in due course, the statement added. Tinubu accepted the resignation and thanked the minister for his service to the nation. A former two-term governor of Jigawa State, Badaru was appointed defense minister on August the 21st, 2023. His tenure recently drew criticism after an interview with BBC Hausa Service in which he said some terrorists could not be attacked because their forest hideout were too dense for bombs to reach. Badaru said, in this kind of war, from time to time, there will be relief. Sometimes they will do something that will shock everyone on the ground. Although I have heard some say that their whereabouts are known and who they are, it is true that their whereabouts are known, but they are people you cannot attack, or they are in forest where bombs cannot reach them. I'm not quite sure if that forest yet exists. Do bombs need Wellington boots because of the soggy waters of where the bandits are? What does that even mean? I assure you that our soldiers are working day and night to see how they can deal with this. The comments sparked backlash, including from correspondents, which described them as confusing, contradictory, and self-deprecatory. Correspondents on Monday titled Badaru as unfit, sack him, strongly criticizing his handling of security and argued that the minister's statement exposed weakness in Nigeria's military structure and intelligence operations. So that guy, I'm not quite sure if he had a military backdrop before he became the governor of Jigawa State, but certainly he should never have been appointed, and certainly they took too long to remove him, but thankfully he has been removed now. The editorial reading part, the minister's pitiable comments are defeatist at best and demoralizing to troops on the front line. Badaru must resign or be fired. President Tinubu cannot afford to sacrifice national security on the altar of political patronage. It helps if a defense minister has a military background, which is to suggest then that Badaru does not have a military background. This should be considered in making new appointments. So we have to be hand in glove. The same thing is still repeating in the ministerial list, by the way, where they've packed it with political jobbers as not ministerial list, but the ambassadorial list, where they've packed it with political jobbers rather than career diplomats. So it looks as though the mistakes of our Badaru about to repeat in the ambassadorial appointments. It helps if a defense minister has a military background. This should be considered in making new appointments. Security analysts have long highlighted the persistence of banditry, abduction, and insurgency in parts of northern Nigeria, arguing that leadership and technological shortcomings hinder effective military response. Vice President Kashim Shettima has estimated that terrorists have pied over 100,000 Nigerians and displaced more than 2 million. Badaru's resignation comes as the federal government implements a national security emergency, etc., etc. So that's how that position opened up for for Christopher Musa to slot in. So that position opens up, and Christopher Musa to slot in. So we move the conversation on to this point, and we pick it up from here.
So, a significant shake-up of Nigeria's security leadership, with Tinubu turning to a seasoned soldier to the country's defense. Christopher Musa, a battle-hardened veteran with over 3 decades of experience, is the new defense minister, subject to Senate approval. He replaces Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, who resigned, citing health reasons. General Musa's appointment comes at a critical juncture, with Nigeria grappling with a surge in insecurity, including banditry, kidnappings, and militant attacks. As Chief of Defense Staff from 2023 to 2025, General Musa led key operations against insurgency in the Lake Chad region, earning recognition and accolades, including the prestigious Colin Powell Award for soldiering in 2012. His nation, awaiting information, is supposed to bring a fresh perspective to Nigeria's defense strategy. But they say he also faces the daunting task of tackling the country's complex security challenges. Well, let's find out what a top member of the National Assembly thinks. And for this, I'm joined now in the studio by the chairman of the House Committee on Defense, Honorable Jimmy Benson. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. And let's be clear that he actually served under you, because you've been the chairman of the House Committee on Defense for some time now.
That's right. I actually screened him in 2023. Yes. So, you want me to talk about
So
it?
you know a thing or two.
I know one or two.
Yeah, so let's start from that. In your assessment, General Musa's experience and expertise make him the best fit for the role of defense minister, given Nigeria's current security challenges, or just a fit, given the fact that we suddenly had a defense minister who had to drop out? Because,
like I said, I screened him about 2.5 years ago, and I still remember how well he did at the screening session. He's a soldier. He was in the theater in Maiduguri, and he was.
So that's exactly who should be occupying that position in the first instance. Some battle-hardened, battle-experienced, contemporary military guy. That's the sort of person that should be occupying that position in the first instance. So quite why they gave it. You need this political jobbing feel. It has to stop. You know, this job for the boy state, it has to. We're paying a heavy price for 4 appointments in governance, and we're paying the price now in human lives.
Was also known for his welfareist approach to his soldiers, and one who
to a soldier with a heart.
with a heart, yes, with a big heart, yeah, right. So he took care of his boy like that. I like to see that. I like to see soldiers who don't think about themselves, who think about the welfare of the troops behind him. Yes. So I also think it's an opportunity for the
but come pause for a moment in appointing Badaru in the first instance. What justification, what qualified him for that job? Let me actually check his CV. Abubakar Badaru CV. Yes. I cannot see any. He was an accountant. Went to Zaria. Let's see. who was he? This former guy that was there. Education. Sorry, let me share this with you because I'm a bit befuddled the rationale for appointing this guy as the defense minister, which is quite a specialized position. Education, Abubakar, graduate of Ahmedu Bello, where he obtained a BS in accounting. He became involved in activism, community activism, sport and business. Alumni of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies. Graduated career. He was vice president of the West African Chambers of XYZ. Is currently the national president of Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce. He was elected in 2019 as the governor of. It was in 2019. Jigawa State gubernatorial election held, and Badaru was re-elected as governor. So there is no military experience in his backdrop. So what qualified this guy to have been appointed the Minister of Defense in the first instance, facing what the country is facing, in the situation we're in, why was that guy appointed in the first instance? That's really where the question is. But there it is. That's the number for you, isn't it? Job for the boys, always. All right, let's take the conversation onto a different stream. So that's somebody. What do you mean no audio? I'm sure you can hear me. I can hear the audio. What's this guy's talking about? You know. So let's take the conversation to the space. Can you hear it now? Sorry, Hassan. Can you hear the audio, Hassan?
Of course, I cannot hear the audio. I can only hear you. I can only hear you, and every twitch, every movement is very clear, but the video is playing, but there is no audio.
Oh, all right. I'm not sure why that is. Tell me if you can hear it now.
Still can't hear it.
I'm not quite sure that is. Did you hear the previous one, the first one I played?
I'm not sure if I was paying
Hassan?
attention there, right? I'm not sure if I was paying attention then, but then right now I can't hear anything.
That shouldn't be, you know, because I can hear it in my system. Let me see.
Oh, really? How about you reboot the system?
All right. Houston, we have a problem. About Chama says she can hear. How about now?
Well, let me see whether I can hear from another device. Let me try and see whether because right now I'm on. Oh, just a minute, please. Let me put on another device and see whether it will render there.
I'm not quite sure. If we can't hear it, then we'll just have to we'll have to wing it. And I think we all know the
And
background
start
story
again.
anyways. So, huh?
You have to start again.
No, I'm not going to start again because then I will. No. I think we can just carry on. We can just carry
Okay. You have to start again.
on. No. I think we just carry on. Since the I'm not quite sure. It should be coming through. Yeah. Yes, I know you can hear me, but you cannot hear the clip that I'm playing, which is the clip we're looking to interact.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, so and it's the clip that we're really interacting with, but never mind. We all know the backdrop to it. So essentially, the backdrop is that is that Abubakar Badaru has resigned as the Minister of Defense, citing health reasons. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is that Christopher Musa has been appointed as the successor to Abubakar Badaru. So a lot of people are excited by the appointment of Christopher Musa for reasons that he has a very strong CV, which is very contemporary. So it says the clips were initially audible, so I'm not quite sure why they no longer are. I don't know. Is there something I've pressed in this thing? Maybe I should just go back to my old system. How about that? I don't know. Can you hear it now?
Nothing. I can't hear nothing.
All right. All right. We're going to abandon the clips. I was going to play you a clip from Very Dark Man as well, who had an interaction with Badaru, who seemed to also endorse the appointment of Badaru, but never mind. We carry. Oh, okay. Let me take you to this piece. Let me read this one out, and then maybe we'll wrap a conversation around what is already known. Police withdrawal from articles, security detail, and assassination plot. This is Timmy Frank, article spokesperson. So, of course, you recall that the government has ordered that all these policemen guarding VIPs should be withdrawn and put to the theater of serving the Nigerian population as opposed to serving the VIPs. So the VIPs can jolly well make their own arrangements, but Atiku, of course, who is just all of his life is used to invoicing his life to the Nigerian state, and now he's no longer able to, and is crying foul. Police withdrawal from article security detail and assassination plot. This is Timmy Frank. Just you have to learn to read the mood. This is the sort of faux pas. This is the sort of shoot yourself in the foot move that article made when he withdrew that tweet on Deborah Samuel. Is the same sort of mindset. So let's see what they're saying here. The former Deputy National Secretary of the All Progressive Congress APC, Timmy Frank, has accused authorities of endangering former Vice President Atiku Abubakar to potential security threats by withdrawing police operatives from his security detail. As a former Vice President, Atiku is entitled to police personnel for security. On November the 3rd, Tinubu directed that police officers assigned to provide security for VIPs across the country be withdrawn from such duties and redeployed to focus on the core policing responsibilities. Following this directive, police personnel who were attached to Atiku, Federal Capital Territory Federal Capital Territory Minister Yemsen Wike, former First Lady Aisha Buhari, and 17 other VIPs are returned to base. In a statement, so out of all of the people that security details were withdrawn from, it is only Atiku that is crying foul. In a statement released on Tuesday, Frank described this move as sudden, adding that a plot by the presidency to assassinate former Vice President Atiku Abubakar ahead of the 2027 general election is afoot. No administration since 2007 has ever tampered with Atiku's security, despite his consistent role as a major opposition figure. Why now? Why at a time when insecurity is at an all-time high across the country? This action clearly reveals an ulterior motive. So does the ulterior motive also extend to Aisha Buhari and all that? This so-called blanket withdrawal is a cover-up. The real objective is to isolate and assassinate Atiku ahead of the 2027 election. The pattern is too obvious to ignore. Atiku, by law, is entitled to police protection as a former vice president. Removing his security at this critical time is deliberate and dangerous, Frank said. He added that Tinubu is replicating a trend across Africa where presidents and leaders silence their oppositions with state powers by intimidating, arresting, detaining, prosecuting, and in extreme cases, eliminating opposition leaders to retain power. President Tinubu is now following the disturbing trend in parts of Africa where incumbents use state power to silence their opponents. I think Atiku has completely misread the mood of the nation in this regard. Security details were withdrawn from Aisha Buhari, Yemsin Wike, almost certainly Obasanjo and the rest of them. Yemi Oshibanjo, all of them. So why especially Atiku that is the one crying foul? Is that entitlement, isn't it? Is that Fulani thing? President Tinubu is now following the disturbing trend in parts of Africa where incumbents use the state power to silence their opposition. Atiku has been very vocal in exposing the failures of this administration, and this withdrawal of security is nothing but a political witch hunt. He added, since leaving office in 2007, Atiku has vied for the presidency but has lost to the opposition on several occasions. Although he has not publicly expressed his interest in vying for the highly contested seat of power in Aso Rock, Nigerians are speculating that the former vice president may try again. Frank accused Tinubu of appointing people from his ethnic group into top security positions to carry out dirty political jobs. He added that if the president has genuine intentions, he should withdraw police personnel from the security details of his family members, friends, and appointees. So there it is right there. So that's an article right there. Ever it's the sense of entitlement, but there it is. Uh, but there it is. Please make sure you are liking and you're subscribing. And I'm being encouraged by Choma to support that as well. But especially like and subscribe. You need to get numbers up. So let's just kick off the conversation since we can't get the audio to work. We kick it off with you, Hassan. You're the one here. So you are excited, of course, by this Christopher Musa appointment, Hassan.
Yes, one man. Good morning to you, to everyone that's listening, wherever you are in the world. Like, share, subscribe. Today, I'm especially happy because when I heard, I kind of heard the rumor that he is coming back as, but I never expected that it was going to be true because we had this idea when he was sacked because we thought the president was running afoul and getting wrong information and that people were getting into his ears and all that. We didn't know actually that he had other plans and that he had seen his, um, importance and his pedigree, his competence and experience. And he is somebody who is molded, in the fire of the specific kind of problems that we have. And therefore, we thought, because, while he was here as he actually commanded multinational joint task force. He commanded the troops of Nigeria, Niger, and Chad and Cameroon, fighting in the Lake Chad region. He also commanded another sector 3 under the, in Kejole, and then he became theater commander. So this is somebody that we know very well in Brno. This is somebody who has done very, very excellently well. And one man, when we talk about these things, and it's clear that Tinubu ineptitude as regards to security matters keeps showing up. And I think there are layers to what the president, as a typical politician, is on his understanding of the larger cycle of the security of Nigeria. And I think that the intelligence agencies and, the NSA, the office of the NSA, have not, actually found a way to make the president, understand the peculiarities on ground and understand how he can, the implications of his politics, as, aside from what is necessary for nation building and, ensuring that there is absolute security. Even though, as it concerns Musa, I'm happy. And as it concerns Sakin Badaru, and I hope Matawale goes to, I hope this coming back of Musa will be, what we need at the, punching from the executive branch and ensuring, it's going to be that the whole, the whole. Okay, I was thinking
Hassan,
about.
you're breaking. Uh, 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 can you hear me? You're breaking slightly, but can you justify the appointment of Badaru in the first instance? Because we just ran through his CV.
His
There's
appointment,
no military anything.
his appointment is simple now. One man, he APC won in Jigawa. That's his CV. There is no CV that is more, colorful, more appealing to a politician's eyes that you worked for him and you made him win in your state. You did the job, so you get the reward. That's just how it works. Unfortunately, but sometimes people that become presidents put these things to the side and then ensure that I was surprised when Tinubu chose those guys, Matawale and Badaru, and it was just so it didn't make any sense anyway. However, I still want to talk about Musa. Why I'm excited about Musa? I'm excited about two things. I'm excited because he understands the BH problem, the Boko Haram terrorists, so well, and he did very, very well while he was here. To the point of almost 100,000 of them surrendering because of the way and manner in which he approached the war. Another thing is because he is from Southern Kaduna and understands and feels, the emotional toil of actually criminal terrorist Fulani Hada groups on, the indigenous people of that area, in Zaria, in places like Samaru, in places like Giwa, where very close to where he comes from. And those places have been rendered like cemeteries, because of the activities of kidnappers. The people can't sleep in their house at night. Even at day, they have to be calling and getting intelligence of what's happening before they can go. So this man understands the peculiarities of what is happening, and I think he is going to do better than when he was CDS. And I hope the president gives him, the authority that he deserves, and he should delegate the required power. Because for left to me, I would have loved if Tinubu had him in mind to push Nuhu Ribadu aside and just put him there so that he manages the whole security infrastructure. Because I don't think Nuhu Ribadu is
Have you
at his
found,
level actually.
yes, I was going to ask, but you probably already answered. Have you found that Nuhu Ribadu is not quite living up to the billing? It's a loyal
I said
daddy
it
boy
now
and
in
it's
the
well
beginning. It's just
intentioned.
loyalty thing. It's a loyalty thing. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't. It's not demonstrating the capacity for that job. I don't think. No, Ribadu.
I think there is something about him that the president feels safer. But it's only human, maybe, but at the expense of the country. But right now, even if the security team is the security team, if um, CDS, the chief of no, the now Minister of Defense, the Honorable Minister of Defense, um, we are adding that to his name because he is
Well, subject
very,
to
very,
Senate
very.
confirmation. Subject to Senate
He's
confirmation.
already there. We are already celebrating, so we already know he's going there. Okay, so that will mean that his decisions, at least by protocol, would the president will consider the fine before he makes any decision. The words of and the you know the feedback from the national security advisor before he considers what the now honorable minister of defense or his opinions would be. I hope that the president actually, even though he should actually prioritize what CDS Musa will bring to his table rather than giving Nuhu Ribadu the final say by protocol. If the presidency wants, it appropriates power the way it wants. So I that's what I feel. And one man about this article thing, I don't think there are layers to this thing. One, Atiku is a politician, and being in opposition, he is going to take every opportunity to make the government look bad. He is going to take that opportunity. So the government should have known that, and of course, he deserves to be protected. I don't think it's a good idea to you can remove protection from Aisha Buhari, but you shouldn't remove protection from ex-vice presidents. As a former vice president, you are not supposed to be left to your own devices. You serve the country at the most highest level.
Hold on, Hassan. Was security details withdrawn from Yemi Oshibanjo as well?
It doesn't make it right. It's not about whether it was withdrawn from Yemi.
Is that not the mood of the country? Is that not the mood of the country? The mood of the country.
One man. You have to understand. You have to understand the situation. I think it is very. What do I say? It is. And the way Tinubu does, or the kind of people he appropriates powers to do these things, they have this like vindictive mentality. At some point, you have to be state-manly and not to give weapon, ammunition to the empty barrels of your enemies. You should anticipate these kind of things that they will come back. So, and I believe because Atiku lives in the Bay Area, you know what the Bay Area is, Bruno, Adama, and Yobe.
Hold on, Hassan. Hold on. Are you saying that you endorse this narrative that the withdrawal of security details from Atiku is a covert assassination attempt? Which is
no.
No.
That is not. That's why I said he's a politician. He's going to make it look as bad because he is going to try to whip up sentiments. Okay, the state-manly thing to do is not to give him that excuse in the first instance. Now, I don't know where in the world it is done that a vice president is left. How is he supposed to protect himself, knowing that he lives and does his primary politics in Yola, where he's also exposed to Boko Haram attacks sometimes. So if you leave him open, that means you are inviting and these things they can happen to him because he's a value target. He has gone to the vice president. So you have to understand the thinking of the enemy. If they are looking for generals, for propaganda, imagine if they can get to Atiku, what would that translate to? I think Tinubu or the people he leaves this power to are not doing their homework. I doubt they are thinking strategically because one man, you guys have to understand that when we talk of security. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
Hold on, Hassan. Just hold on. When they withdrew the security details, the police personnel, they did not leave them naked. They still put some of this paramilitary sort of setup in situation.
Are you sure?
Did they? Yes.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. They said one of these I can't quite remember the acronym for the organization, but there's another military something. Baba, what did they substitute the police details with? Can you remember?
NSCDC.
Supernumerary
police.
Yes, NSCDC.
Supernumerary.
Yes.
No, but Hassan is right. You can't take security details from a former vice president.
Why not?
No. It's bad.
It's
a position that
in the mood and climate we're in now.
Look, you can say if Akpabio left the Senate presidency now, you can say Senate president. But a vice president, you can call him even a vice president without saying former vice president, just like the president. President Obasanjo, President Jonathan, Vice President Osinbajo, Vice President Atiku.
Yes,
is the nomenclature. It is right. It shouldn't have attempted it at all. Not to even talk of action in it. No, it's bad. It's very bad.
But it's not peculiarly. I mean, what are we talking about here? It's not peculiarly Atiku. It was the whole swathe of VIPs.
On principle,
Hold
why
on.
don't you
Oshibajo
also
was swept up
understand
in
now?
that now. Aisha Buhari was swept up in that. Yemson Wike was swept up in that. They run the same risk. They are vulnerable people for reasons of
We are overzealous
they,
people, one man. You know that. I mean, they should have taken that into consideration. Somebody somewhere has made a mistake, grievous one. They should be corrected
Yes,
immediately.
yes,
A
that's
vice
true.
president should be protected. He carries some secrets of the nation in his head.
but
He
what
shouldn't be
secret
left
does people
naked.
carry that? So you don't see
Yes,
this
that's
as
true.
a
That's
Deborah
true, Papa.
Samuel mistake, the sort
No,
of
no,
faux
no. I
pas
think
that
it's
they
an
make.
oversight. A grievous mistake has been made.
One man now, come on.
They will correct it. They will
Yes,
correct it.
yes, I hope they do, Baba. I really hope they do. Yes, because it doesn't really, it's not something that is like good for the reputation of that place. The presidents, that institution, for these things to be hard and to be happening. Well,
But
because
many
we have a lot
northern
of
groups
enemies
now are
actually, and
opposing Musa's appointment. They said it's
they are
against
mad. They
northern
are mad.
interest.
They are mad.
And you can't believe what they
They
put
are
out.
mad.
Musa
They
was
are
on a
mad.
clip actually lampooning the Fulani man and his culture of loving his cow
Musa is a
more than
Hausa
human
man, of
being.
course. He's a
Yeah,
Hausa man,
so
isn't he?
that's what they are using. So he said the Fulani
From what I know, I trust this man. I would trust him with my life. I trust him so much because I know what he stands for. I have seen it firsthand. And the week before he was, sacked by Tinubu, we were actually together in Maiduguri. We held a meeting of some sort. So this is somebody that I know, and they are all talking bullshit. They don't know what they are talking about. They don't know this guy because if there is
the beauty
somebody
of his
who is
appointment is that
professional,
he has lived through all the upheavals in southern Kaduna and other parts of Kaduna. He was commissioned 1991, and if you remember vividly well what happened in 1992, the Zongo Kataf riots. There was two. One early, I think February. The second attack was in May, and almost 1,000 people died in the two riots. And ever since, there has been skirmishes of some religion, some territorial, some ethnic, up till today, as we speak. You understand? Up to today.
All right,
So he lived through it. So he has experience, and I think that experience he will bring to bear.
But Papa and Hassan, tell me if you can hear this. I want to try and play something. Hopefully, this one, because this speaks to the quality of our crystal. Tell me if you can hear it.
All right, so by now I'm pretty sure you all are.
Yeah, I can hear.
I can hear it.
All right, nominated the former chief of defense staff, Christopher Musa, for the position of minister, and this is because the seat of the minister of defense is currently vacant because the minister of defense had resigned. Badaru, in the name of Badaru Abubakar. So he resigned about 2-3 days ago. So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is saying that the chief of defense staff, who they sacked before, they just removed him out of office mysteriously. Nobody knew why they removed him. So now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is bringing him back. And when I saw the news, I laughed. You know why I laughed? Because to be very, very honest, sometimes politics don't make these people see the truth and don't make these people see people that are capable. Now, let me tell you something about Christopher Musa, right? On the 14th of June, 2025, an attack happened in Yelwata where some headsmen fired over 200 persons.
And by the way, that attack in Yelwata, the Americans had the intelligence. They gave it to the Nigerian authorities, but they did not act. That's one of the things that still aggrieves Trump.
In their homes in Yelwata, Benue State, they even set them ablaze. They burned them with fire. On the 14th/15th was when this thing happened. So on the 15th morning, when I heard the news early in the morning, I went to Yelwata. When I got to Yelwata, because I noticed that our media were not going there to go and cover it. The attack happened on the 13th. So I went there on the 15th morning. So when I got there, I went to the scene. It was horrible. I covered the whole scene. I made a video of it, went to different rooms. If you go back to the video, even though for some reason, Instagram, Facebook, all over social media, it has been deleted. I'm sure it will be on Twitter. Anyway, so I took a video. Some people will say fire don't burn. They burn children inside their house. You know, they light their fire everywhere. They buy people like animal. So when I posted it online, it raised a lot of awareness, right? In less than 3 hours, I had over 50,000 comments on that post, right? So it went so viral. The government were forced to put attention on Benue State, and they started going to Benue State. The police were there, army were there. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said he was going to come. The whole attention was on Benue State. So after that, on the 17th, the chief of defense staff he appeared on Channel TV, and then he was asked some questions. The response he gave, I was not pleased with that. And as a result of that, I was so angry because I was traumatized. I went to Benue State, I saw the thing firsthand, and I started thinking that, God, this can't happen to us. So when he said that thing on channels, me, I blast him. I don't go lie, I blast the man. So this was the day, this was on the 17th of June. I said, the script from the CBS, General Christopher Musa on Channels News about what might be the cause of the Benue massacre by herdsmen just unlock another fear in me. At this point, to the great people of Nigeria, may our ancestors be with us. So when I posted this, on the 19th, around 10, they just told me that army were looking for me. I said, army, okay. They said, yes. I panicked. That's which while I'll get with army. I can't remember, say, I don't blast Christopher Musa. I say, wow. Anyways, I just said, no, let's go. Because two things came into my head. If they won't buy me, if they don't buy me, since they already know where I be, and they don't know how to track me. So let's go. I didn't know who was looking for me. They just said army was looking for me. Next thing, I enter motor. They drove me. Boom! We got to Asokoro. When we got to Asokoro, we entered into the military base. When we got into the military base, we just drove up. Bam! When they opened the door, guess who I saw? Christopher Musa. When I saw him, I see the person when I blast online. They looked the man like this. This was on the 19th. So this was at around maybe 11:30-ish. No, 10:30-ish. Then when we entered, they now told everybody to go outside, that they should leave the both of us to sit down. Then we sat down. Then he looked at me. He said, very dark man. I said, sir. He said, I know you. I said, yes, nice to meet you, sir. He said, do you know why I brought you here? I said, no, sir. He said, I need your help. Nah. I was looking at the man like, what? He said, I need your help. I said, sir, help on what? He said, you need to tell me everything that you noticed when you went to Yelwata. You were the first person with a camera that went there. People didn't go there. People were scared to go there. So you should tell me everything you noticed that day when you got to Yelwata, and what you think and the information that you might have gathered after the whole Yelwata thing. Coincidentally, before I came to Christopher Musa, I was in contact with some people that I believe were part of, or not really part of, the people that know the history of what is happening between the Fulanis in Benue. As a matter of fact, I was already talking to some Fulani. As a matter of fact, we had arranged a meeting with them, myself, to go into the bush. I was going to go into the bush to go and meet them, right?
So what this guy is narrating, it actually dates back quite a few months. We all remember that Yelwata incident and very dark man's interaction with that space, which is what blew him up. But there was a lot that happened subsequently that he had not written to the public space. But with the appointment of this guy now, I think he wants to add his endorsement to that appointment. So he's taking us back down memory lane to tell us what transpired in that space.
So I told him, I said, sir,
okay.
because
now, hold on, let's run through.
I found out these are videos, because the Fulanis, they also sent me videos. They sent me a lot of videos about how they don't take by them. Said videos there everywhere. How far? What is really going on? Like, when does this stop? The people of Benue have gone through attacks severally. At what point? This attack has been repeated on the people of Benue. At what point does this stop? Do you need me to come and ask your guy what is happening? Is he willing to speak? They said he's willing to speak. Told me. I said, okay, no problem. I'm going to come. Give me a location. He said they can't give me a location like that. But when I'm ready, they'll tell me how to come. Now, guess why these people spoke to me? They told me one thing. They said, you very dark man, we talk to you because you don't collect money. That was when I knew that integrity had brought me far. He said they were willing to speak to me because I don't collect money. Basically, these people observe. They have seen that very dark man does not do adverts, he does not do promotions and all that, he does not collect money, right? So they were talking to me, sending me videos. I can't post those videos here, but I have them on my phone. But I can't post those. They sent me different videos of their cows that were buyed. I have a particular video where one of them was giving fuel to drink. A lot of them were burned. Different. He was just sending me a lot of videos. Then me said, on the other hand, I was sending into that. Almost, when I said, don't buy a lot of people. So where do we go from here? So I tabled everything to the then chief of defense staff, Christopher Musa. When he saw everything, he just said, okay, thank you very much. We'll take it off from here. Please, whatever information you have, you should let me know. This is a picture for those of you who are going to say now talk. Then we took this picture that day, as you can see, on the 20th of.
You see, I've seen this clip earlier, but what especially impressed me was that Christopher Musa was it was willing to go to any length to get any and every information necessary in order for him to tackle what is in front of him. So he had to hold. Yes, he had to hold his nose to interact with a dirty little guy from the street.
Can you repeat that again? He has to hold his nose.
Why would Christopher Musa be interacting with this?
Stay focused, please. Stay focused.
All right, I'll stay focused.
Let me tell you this. Let me just finish.
Hold on, Hassan. Hold on. Let's get the fullness of what Very Dark Man is bringing, and then I'll open it up. You kick it off, and then we go on. But for the people watching, please like and subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, we're here every day. Subscribe. If you want to come and join us, come join us. Come add your voice to the conversation. But let's take this to the end, and then we'll open it up.
June 2025. That's when we took this picture. Other people for carry and go post online. Imagine when one of people say, I need the chief of defense staff for a house. This is when you are finding out, right? Because it was classified. But now I feel they need to say it because now I see. Because the reason why I'm talking now, when they said they had removed him as the chief of defense staff, I just shook my head. You know why I shook my head? Because that man is a man that was looking for solution. For that man to call Very Dark Man to come to his house and look at me in my eyes. This is the chief of defense staff, bro. He looked at me in my eyes and told me that I need your head. That's somebody that is not ashamed to get information from anywhere. There's no pride whatsoever. Anything that will make him help the country is in for it. This is somebody that wants the country to move forward. So if he can come down to come and ask Very Dark Man, that is above Very Dark Man, is way above my level, right? If he can come down to say, okay, yes, this man can literally say, boys should go and catch me and buy me. This should have wants me buy me. But he called me. He humbled himself to say, I need your help. Meaning that this man can go anywhere to ask for information to make sure he correct the security of the country. So the day that I saw that they removed Christopher Musa, I just shook my head. I don't talk, since that day I don't make any comments. I didn't say one thing today when I talk. And the only reason why I'm talking today is because I heard that they've nominated him for the chief of, they have nominated him for the Minister of Defense. To be very, very honest, me, I'm not a politician, but you see that single act from Christopher Musa to come into his house to ask me questions and what I know, and start telling me that anything I get from now on, please, I should send it to him, I should alert him, that should alert the military, and I should alert him. That's anything you let me know. I know how many things I've called him for after them. I say, Ogasa, the whole thing that happened in Edo State, it was him, my God. I said, Oga, they demolish this place, army. I sent it to him. Did I mention that online? No. So if they're nominating him, I just hope he gets the position. I just hope so. But if he doesn't, mashallah. I just hope, because that man is really passionate about the country. And it's not even about clouds. Because wait till the man will come. You know, wait till, you never saw this picture online if I didn't show you today. Anyways, I just hope he's been given the position as a Minister of Defense. Peace and love, don't play. As you go along, and you will learn the hard way.
All right. So that's a very dark man just telling us. And by the way, that was Christopher Musa acting outside of the public glare, which is to tell you that it's a worker more than anything else. So that especially impressed me because Christopher Musa certainly did not invite the cameras, and very dark man did not expose that interaction.
Sorry,
He was just gathering information, and that's especially what it was.
quick question for the panelists. Don't you think that if he's made Minister of Defense, they have to get rid of Matawale? I don't think they can work together. That guy needs to go.
I am of the same opinion, Babati. I am of the same opinion. He needs to, they didn't even need to be there in the first place. Him and Badaru, they were not supposed to. And I would add with Nuhu Ribadu too. I would like to see all of them gone.
I think
it only makes sense.
I am loath to agree with you, Hassan, but I do. I am.
But we are
loath.
missing
I
a
really
point.
myself,
We are missing a point. Very dark man made, because when I listen at times, I listen very deep. There has been a recurrence or people have been talking about these things as reprisal attack. We all didn't believe in it. But from what very dark man said now, actually, Yoruba says, Ti Kukuban Seishu, Enikomo, Todoban Guyon, Ariwata. That means if the pot is cooking the yam, there is silence. But when the mortar and pestle start working on the yam to turn into powdered yam, the whole neighborhood will be noisy.
So,
That means,
Baba, you actually noticed that detail. I was going to point it out.
Hold on, Baba.
Yes, I know. Yes, Baba, continue. I just glad that he noticed.
Because subtly, people like El Rufai and other prominent Fulanis have been dropping hints that Fulanis, what they always hold on to is that they bear grudge, even 1,000 years grudge. They will come back and take their own pound of flesh. And we're all like, we had the hard mentality, wondering that what has the people of Yelwata and the suburb done to the Fulanis, that what will have caused that kind of heavy mayhem on them. But if the Fulanis videos were to be believed according to Very Dark Man, they've been doing some things too in the past. I was still doing it. This kind of tit for tat thing. But one hand is now stronger than the other. So we have to be easy in this kind of things. We have to calm down, look deeply, so that we don't make grievous mistakes. That's why I support this Musa appointment. They see what we don't see. They know what we don't know. But Very Dark Man has put it in its proper perspective. It's that he has videos. They were giving their people petrol to drink. They were doing this to their cow. They were doing that to this thing. So, I mean, it is what it is.
But to my earlier question, how do you see him working with Matawale if Matawale is retained?
Well, it depends on his ego. You see, one thing I can see what the president did, I can call his initial entry into the presidency as a time of maybe expected peace. You understand? And maybe he didn't prepare for this. So he appointed those people with whom he can work with and try to maybe build a security architecture. But then the whole thing has flipped, and we are now in a kind of military emergency period. So they are ill-equipped. So Badaro have to go, and to an extent, by extension, Matawali has to go to, particularly when ego may be involved, because Matawali, as a state minister of defense, was the boss of Musa just a couple of weeks back. Now Musa coming in as defense minister is senior to Matawali. So will he now say sa to Musa, or he will just kind of bow out? He has to go.
He has to go.
It's only logical.
Hold on, Hassan. Just as an addendum to what you said. Sorry, Hassan. Just as an addendum to what you said. Baba. I've always had the sense that no matter how prepared you are, the Nigerian presidency always catches whoever ends up on that seat off guard. Goodluck Jonathan was caught off guard. Yar'Adua was caught off guard. Buhari was caught off guard, and certainly Tinubu is caught off guard. Even Obasanjo was caught off guard. There's always a curveball that is thrown into them, like this. The intensity of this insurgency now is
and the ferocity of it.
And the veracity of it is never anything that Tinubu would have anticipated. He knew that in the build-up to the elections, the North would throw insurgency at him, but he did not anticipate it to be to this level of intensity. And the intensity is to undermine him, to show that he's incompetent, he doesn't have a grip of the situation, and that is exactly what is playing out. No matter how prepared you are, when you get into that Aso Rock seat, it always seems to catch you off guard. That's just what seems to be imagined.
One man, when you say the North, who do you mean?
I mean the Fulanis especially, not the whole of the North, but the Fulanis. You know, when we talk about the North, we're really talking about the Fulanis. Because
don't mind Hassan. Cannot remind. He's always prideful when he hears anything like that.
And Baba, sometimes when we talk on these platforms and then we talk about security issues, and I feel I should not talk about some things in detail because there is always a lens through which things are discussed here, and they're usually tribal and they're usually regional. There's always something that interprets it, and I pointed to one man the other time that historically in Nigeria, the South has dominated media spaces and economic spaces and things like that. And that has made, especially when things has happened in the North that do not fit the narrative that is, what the politicians in the South would want to throw against the North, it doesn't really come out like that, okay? But when it fits that narrative, especially now with what Very Dark Man said with the Fulanis and all that, and all those things, so those, they don't have access, So, and if you don't have access, then you cannot be heard. And if you are not heard, then it becomes a single narrative, and that's the danger of that, things like that happening. I'm not saying that what the Fulanis are doing is right. It is wrong. It must be stopped at all levels. But I also want to point out that, you see, looking at things from ethno-religious and regional lens, it will never give you the solution. And that is why when the president goes there, the North accuses the president of not doing enough for the North, because people in the South think that when Buhari was president, as if the North was praising him. No, they were cursing him that he did not do enough for the North. So just understand that the majority of the North, where they were cursing Buhari,
but the voices were not vociferous like we have now. That is what we are saying. So it's like silence compared to what is happening now. They were silent. Yes, they may be talking, but we didn't hear it. It was not cacophonous.
Baba, if you want to understand where like the North actually you have to listen to BBC Hausa, Radio France International, places like that. And if you are on social media, go to the Hausa segment of all social media, you would see all those things. And that's the thing that I say about the North, that the South do not really understand. And they feel, because most of Northerners do not like really get to express themselves in English language or English speaking media. They don't even speak good pidgin English for most part. So that medium of communication between the core North and the South is not it's not available in the real time sense.
Sorry, Hassan. You know what I really think. And please, anybody listening, I have no sympathy for the Fulani. So if all of them can be, removed from the surface of the earth, I would not share the chair. But I think they are because from what we're hearing from Very Dark Man, they've suffered just some really gruesome things which they felt they had to retaliate for, but they've not released the narrative that underpins what they're doing now, in order then to let us know that, look, this happened to us and this is why we're doing it.
Yeah,
So
it's not dissimilar to what happened October in
yes,
Gaza, where they went
yes.
and attacked the people who were picnicking, and then we knew there would be trouble. Just I think about 100 and something Israelis were killed, but look that now, a year after down the line, what has happened to Gaza?
Well, I would say
hold
one
on,
that
just
you
hold
have to
on.
understand the
Hassan,
Fulani also.
you have to be opening the window for the conversation to move around the way. Bit is here as well. Yes, the what happened in Gaza was disproportionate to what the Palestinians did and what the Israelis are doing. Is there's a disproportionality to it, but you can see the justification that the Israelis are putting forward for their actions. So we know the narrative and we know why they felt the need to respond. But with the Fulanis, you don't know the narrative. They just come across as some pretty evil sort of people, because we see what goes on in Benue, but we don't see their own counter narrative because they don't have a PR system.
Can I talk? I just want to make this point so that even in the future, one man and you guys can understand. That is why you see the body language of the presidency and people in government is different from what you expect it to be, because they have access to intelligence reports while you don't. So when they come out and say these things, you feel as if they are serving an agenda. Meanwhile, when you look at a security level, there are strategic, and operational and tactical reasoning behind actually what is happening with the government and how they communicate. I think they should communicate better, because they are not telling Nigerians enough why they are fighting the policy intent, what is happening, if at a even just at a macro level of allocation, and how they organize resources, where who is in doing what, and their focus. What are they focusing on? National interest, and long term, what will happen long term, and resource prioritization, all these things, and Nigeria's alliances, some partnerships, so political, things that they are considering, they all come in to form what you see on the TVs and in the news.
You're right.
Sometimes it is what it is, but what we see at the operational level, and how they connect their strategy to action, it's not been explained enough to Nigerians, and that should change. And maybe a clear, defined, output should be set as key performance indicators, so that we can measure everybody that comes into that architecture, how he does, what he ends up producing. Because if we are not doing that at the topmost level, at policy level, then what are we supposed to monitor? How are we supposed to make sense of what is happening? And of course, you can't take out. You see, when you were talking about the curveball, you cannot um, be in that presidency, and those powers that be will not have a carrot and stick approach to you. It's always like that. So you have to manage it and see how you can help your citizens as you go along. I hope that someday we'll get that tick out of the African continent and take some, things to get rid of it. But as for now, it is what it is. But I hope that we learn and we get better. I'm just so happy that this man is there. And Baba, you can continue. And Babaji, thank you very much for letting me speak.
But are we not heaping too much expectation on Christopher Musa? Is the wider question. Because he has been in the system for a long time. He has held positions of command, and the situation continues to escalate rather than reduce. So, are we expecting too much? Are we in our desperation for solutions expecting too much of this man?
Well, I think he is having a very rare opportunity, which most of us have not been able. Maybe having straddling two sides of life as a military man running a command, rose to the highest point of CDS, now retired, now chief of defense staff. And now Minister of Defense is as a civilian and having a wider scope of this thing. But as a general, naturally, I know most of they are highly educated and they have their tentacles in most of the military schools, like West Point, like the strategical schools in India, in Sandhurst, and the whole in England, and a host of others. So they also have wide connections. I think he will bring that experience to bear. And since he's a grassroots man, having come down from his high horse, pedestal rather, to talk to somebody, to pick the brain of somebody like very dark man, it shows some level of high intelligence, not just intelligence, but very high intelligence. You understand? To me, that's the hallmark of a balanced man who doesn't want to make any mistake. And that is good in a situation where we are now, because it's like the country from time to time has always been sitting on a keg of gunpowder. But this time around, Nigeria is not just sitting on a keg of gunpowder, but also smoking a big fat cigar and gingerly dropping the ash on the bomb. And if care is not taken, if it continues, of course, it's going to blow and blow everybody into smithereens. So I think it's a right fit at this moment. But for those advocating that we should do a wholesale dispatch of both Matawale and Ribadu, no, I disagree, because there are some good works Ribadu has done, though not acclaimed, because then you don't really do an acclamation of that kind of activities. They've been eliminating a lot of the head of these terror groups. The only one that has really escaped them, and I think is for political reason, is the Toji guy. And so some people are saying the Toji guy actually is working for.
Is he not even being banned in public? The last time I saw Toji, Bello Toji, he had Nigerian security forces as his guards.
Well, I don't know, because a lot of disinformation on the cyberspace at the moment. So I don't really believe most things, except I come to really authenticate them myself through my own sources. But you understand, but that guy has eluded them. And I strongly suspect, and I can't remember recently, somebody alluded to the fact that he's been protected by some people. I can't remember who said that, but somebody very high up in government. It's been
Well,
no, hold on, Hassan. I want to bring BT, Prince Daddy, and then Patoski into the conversation. But it's still really what you opened up, Hassan. So BT, the conversation, and I think somewhat Baba endorsing what Hassan said, that Christopher Musa's appointment as the now new defense minister is a good step in the right direction, but they are also querying Matawale being the Minister of State for Defense, and I somewhat agree with that. But they are also querying if Nuhu Ribadu, well intentioned, but is he really capacitated to be the NSA? Is he fit for purpose? So where are you stood in that sort of stance, that opinion?
You know, Ribadu has always been Tinubu's right man since '07. I think he ran on the platform. Was it AD or AC back then, Baba? As president, it was
ACN.
ACN back then. So, and you know, there was this question about when it was appointed as NSA, that will the security system in Nigeria respect informal police?
Sorry, Doc. Article run on ACN, Ribadu run on AC.
AC, yeah. I remember. So they can keep Ribadu for now, because the one that I personally have issues with Matawale, because I saw that video, it bothered me. Like, I'm like, how the hell is this guy a minister? If this is your, because for me it's the mindset, one man. What they think, with the way they look at this bandit, it's like they're coddling them or something. Like, you know, oh, just keep quiet. This will blow over. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of the federal government and Trump. That's the way I think behind the scenes when they speak to these guys, it's to calm them down. Like, don't worry, we'll take care of this. So that I don't think Musa will be effective with that guy.
Why do you think they are reluctant, maybe even incapable of going after these people frontally?
Because those so-called bandits are there. It's like a buffer between the crimes they're committing behind the scenes, mining resources, and not nominating the funds back to the federal purse. Remember, part of the agreement for the federal meeting was this freezing mining for 6 months, right?
Thank you, Babati, for making that point. That's excellent.
That is so. So you are in the media fighting so-called bandits, and behind the scenes they get to loot the resources of the country. That is the whole game. So it's not like they care about them, but they are like useful tools, like useful idiots. They don't care about them either, but they need them as fronts. So that's the reason why one man they keep protecting them. They know they're no good. They didn't train these kids. I mean, we've been talking about 14 million kids trained in Nigeria since one month, since year 2000, right? Guess what? They are 30 years old now. They're 35. I mean, they are 30 years. Those kids that we used to complain about, uneducated kids in the north, that was doing OBJ, right? That's almost 20 years, 25 years ago. Now they're like 30, 35 years old. They are the ones that are being used now.
You know something, BT. Somebody was making the distinction in a previous conversation. There are two stratas of Fulanese, even several stratas, but the main chasm between the Fulanese is that there's a chasm of the city Fulanese and the bush Fulanese. So the bush Fulanese are essentially these people that herd cows and herd cattle up and down the plains of our coast, our space. So not just the Yoruba space, but that West African space from maybe even Gambia all the way through to the seas. So what somebody was explaining is that these bush Fulanis, they have no association with normalcy or modernity. They live all of their life as a nomadic sort of which is fine, but they have no settlement, they have no homestead. if you are saying I'm going home, there's no home that they are going to. Their life essentially is in the bushes. Their interaction is with the elements, and then when they come out, and then if you imagine those sort of people, and then you put an AK-47 in the hand of a person like that, that essentially is what we're dealing with.
So somebody,
Just
to your point,
savages, essentially savages.
they have enablers. To your point, they can be all bush all they want. They can stay in the forest all they want. But somebody's enabling that behavior. Somebody's encouraging that.
Very correct.
To what end? Once again, to exploit the Nigerian state. That's so. To me, I will not make any clear decision between Fulani in the bush or Fulani in Abuja or anywhere, because there's no way the ones in the bush will function or will have AK-47 without some big men somewhere, one of them that is in the city, funding this.
But don't exclude the Southerners too from
exactly
that group of people. But
Yes,
there are cattle owners who are Southerners.
So
it's kind of institutional.
So part of it is the looting of the Nigerian state, the resources. It's part of it. So Tinubu has to then do more. I brought up the story maybe one month earlier today that folk look at what they're also doing in the Senate. Akpabio is also moving people around in the committees.
Sorry, just for to bring laughter to this, let me read something for you, Hassan. Which Fulani is Hassan? A bush baby or a bush boy or a city boy?
That bush baby.
Hassan is definitely a bush boy now. Has that not been my experience? Hassan is a bush boy now.
I come from the desert of Kukawa. If you know that place, that's where I come from.
You know, Hassan,
having fun with you.
When next I come to Nigeria, I'll make it a point to come and visit you. Just make sure you make yourself available.
One man, you should say you get mine to come to Maiduguri.
If I'm under your protection, I think I can. You know,
one man would not even
in that case.
Asman, don't worry. When I'm on my way anytime to Adamawa, I'll let you know.
All right. I can even go to Adamawa and meet you. Well, it's not far off.
I think I will welcome that support. I will let you know later. Much later.
Yes.
Okay.
All right now.
Okay. Let the next person go. Let me yield for that. Okay. So.
All right. Thank you, BT. Stay with us, BT. But before we go on to Prince, do you recognize that distinction, Hassan, between the bush Fulanis and the city Fulanis? Is that a thing? Is that known?
A very, very real thing. Very, very real thing. In fact, just like you have dialects in Yoruba, so is the Fulani, hierarchy structure like that. They have people who have actually settled and are doing quite well. And you know that the elites in the northwestern Nigeria are mostly Fulani. So those ones, they are secure. They are no longer. But think of a person who always interacts with the elements and is moving all around us, and is not actually interacting with civilization. How do a culture grow? By interacting with another culture, which is quite superior, whether in technology, linguistics and things like that, and even in expression. So when Fulanis do not report to authorities, it's because that they are civilizationally and culturally kind of stunted in a way. But it's not. So if you are looking at it from a purely moral basis, you would see that yes, they may have some case. But then, because they do not understand the environment, the social and the media space, and what is actually happening, so their hands are kind of tied. And instead of them to express their frustrations in the right manner, they end up expressing it in the wrong manner. Now, that is not to say that people are not also doing bad things to them. So yes, there is that distinction so well. Now, if you go to places like Yola, Jimeta, Yola, where Fulanis actually settle, you will see that clearly. You will see that the city Fulanis, they are settled and they are bankers, lawyers, doctors, no profession that you won't find them. And then you would find those who are really
you're very correct.
Yes.
Except for their complexion.
What's
Yes,
the support
that's the
for?
truth.
Sorry, Hassan. What's the support
Mm.
system for the bush Fulanis? What holds them in situation? Are they being held in abeyance as weapons of onslaught as it's playing out now?
Well, psyops is a thing, and then it's done like from time immemorial. It's not like a recent thing, like people think of the psyops of the CIA as if it's something new. um, Humans have been psyoping humans from a very long time, and even in case societies, the people at the lower strata are psyoped to think that they are kind of inferior, and to continue because it is established in the culture that if you come from this is what you are expected to do. So if you go to the care system, for example, in India, and you're an untouchable, you don't believe that you have any rights. So you don't even like want to engage the system, and you are left there because you're not protected by the law and all that. So up until you gain that cultural understanding and the nuances of interacting as a collective, as a culture, to actually go to that level, because you will have Fulanis that you take out of, for example, Kashim Shetima has a habit of educating these bush Fulanis, and he takes them up to university abroad. Like he gets them into the best schools and ensure that when they graduate. So these guys, when they go back to their people, they go back to their mothers and fathers, and they try to explain to them, okay, go to school, do this, do that, and then they are taken as some kind of awkward, as if they look at you when you try to explain civilization as if you are the mad person. I don't know if that makes sense, but if they are not forced, like to stay in one place and then forced to study for a generation, it will continue. And I don't think that, and what that means is essentially surrendering power for the elites, who will do that menial hard work for them, without pay, to rear cattle for all their lives and not getting anything, substantial for it, if not those that who are reared in that cultural context. Uh, that's just what you need to understand as the basis of what is happening, and it may make sense. So it's a wicked failure of the elites to give access
So
to what they have
essentially,
had
they're just
access to.
using them as weapons, essentially.
Yes, and those who are used as weapons, I think, are even the small majority, because the ones that carry the AKs, yeah, are the ones that are being used for weapons. But they have been like that for quite a while now. But that AK-47, getting into their hands actually changes everything, because before they shoot bow and arrows like when they fight. Now they're using AK-47, and that
Sorry, Hassan. What do you think the argument of the Fulanis are? Are they looking to regress society back to medieval times, or are they saying that modernity is not being brought to them as aggressively enough? So, what are they arguing for? What is their contention? What is the moral justification for their positioning?
yes, there is a collective feeling of being left behind. Well, although that does not only affect them, I mean structurally in the north, um, because of that culture of remaining in the bush. Because I have worked as somebody who actually create policies for nomadic children, educational policies for nomadic children, and it is very, very difficult to educate nomadic children. And the reason is that they are in geographical location A, B, C, D, E. In a month, they will be here in a week. They'll be here in 2 months. They'll be there. They have tents and all these things that they carry around. So they spend the whole year actually, wandering through the plains, the rainforest, the savannas, the Sahel, just trying to feed the cattle, and then there's a time to sell the cattle, and there's a time for the so their whole culture is just inside, and there is no method of expression. Now this leaves them vulnerable so much more than other groups who do not have access to education, but at least are making efforts and they are socializing. They are socializing with other cultures. Now that gives you some form of civilization because the human actually learns by imitation, not necessarily by sitting on, a desk and somebody teaching him. Now they don't even socialize for them to learn, the nuances of what actually a civilization or culture is. Now the elites, however, they have mastered this thing and they are not willing to surrender the power. And that is a problem. Now, I think if we can ensure that a generation of them, and one, Musa was talking about fencing the North, from the Sahel. People were
Hassan,
saying he's smart,
hold
but
on,
I
hold
believe.
on, Hassan, just hold on. They won't let us capture that generation is the thing because Goodluck Jonathan tried to capture that generation when he tried to introduce some well packaged
Nomadic.
educational.
No, 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 no,
Yes,
no, 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 no.
yeah,
That
but they
that that
won't let us
that
capture
was not
that.
well done.
It wasn't well done. It
Yeah,
was
that
only because they frustrated it. They
I don't think
frustrated
that
it,
is the case, one man.
They have library on wheels. They go because they lead a roving existence, and this thing moves with them just like a gypsy caravan. But they never wanted anything like that. All they are particular about is just their cow.
Yeah, but
uh,
that lifestyle. Hold on, Hassan. Let other people. I want Prince Daddy to come in and sorry, Hassan
Patoski.
and Patoski as well. But that lifestyle is not sustainable. When is that realization going to come to the Fulanis? There's increasing pressure on land and resources. The world gets increasingly civilized, and the lifestyle that the Fulanis live just having the vast expanse of the terrain as their playing field, that lifestyle is no longer sustainable. So there has to be from an internal because they'll be in perpetual conflict one day, and at some point they'll be subjugated because they can only go so far before people draw that line. So that lifestyle of just roaming the vast expanse. Let me show you something actually. Let me show you something. You need to see this, and then after this, we'll bring Priest Daddy.
ṣé ẹ rí i pé ayé fúlàní darandaran ti bàjẹ́ ẹjọ́ bá ń ṣí ẹ fídíò yẹ̀ wò ká tí wọ́n ń ṣe fáwọn àgbẹ̀ nígbà téèyàn gbin wọ́támẹ́lọ̀ tọ̀dọ̀ tiẹ̀ tẹ́ ẹ lé kúrò lórí oko ẹ̀ tẹ́ wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní fún àwọn màálù ní wọ́támẹ́lọ̀ jẹ tí wọ́n bá ta màálù gan ṣé owó rẹ̀ lè ra wọ́támẹ́lọ̀ tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní bàjẹ́ yìí nígbà tí bá ń ta wọ́támẹ́lọ̀ ẹyọ kan níbi 1,500 èló gan ni màálù gan tóun gan ń dà ṣé ẹ rí wípé ìwọ̀ ẹranko pátápátá òun làwọn fúlàní yìí ń wù ẹjọ́ ẹ bá ń ṣí ẹ fídíò yìí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ ní oko sí ète tí ibi táwọn Fulani Bandits wọ ẹjọ́ nítorí Ọlọ́run ẹ sásàlà fẹ́mi yín nítorí kí wọ́n mọ̀ pààyàn pakópa ẹ bá ń ṣe.
So that's somebody's watermelon farm being destroyed by the Fulanis. The products to be fed. Imagine that life is complete. If they don't take that life physically, they've taken it in a slow death. Imagine the loss. Imagine.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, let's bring Prince Daddy in. Prince Daddy, we were talking about the appointment of Christopher Musa, and is it a game changer or is it a first step in the right direction? And a bit more heavy lifting needs to come in terms of cleansing the security structures. I'm not quite sure how invested you are in that space, Prince.
Yeah. Hello, one man. Hello, everyone.
Good to have you.
Oh yeah, you too. Yeah, the Christopher Musa. I don't know anything about him. I'm assuming from his first name is a Christian person, right? So I'm not sure what impact or what difference it makes actually. But what is going on in Nigeria overall? It's nothing really really unique in the sense that any individual or group of people that are willing to exercise violence against others, they have the proclivity for violence. They would tend to naturally dominate or intimidate other people. That's why a Fulani herder can go into a farm anywhere, be in the north or in the south, and take people's a livelihood and do whatever it wants without being afraid of anything, because he's more than happy and willing to that guy, whomever that person may challenge, whomever that person may be, to challenge his authority. And that's what we have there in Nigeria, really, quite frankly. And like many people talking about, oh no, we should calm things down because we don't want to upset the northerners, specifically the Fulani people. That's what I'm talking about. The rest of the country, especially the southerners, are afraid. We're afraid of them. We're not willing to go. Say they like the suicide bombers. They're willing to. Anyone who's willing to strike themselves with a bomb tells you that game over. They are willing to go to the last point. Same thing for the Fulani people or this people. They can pull out a dagger or engage in extreme form of violence, and they don't mind losing their lives. But not so much for us in the South. Papa did for house, Mama did for house, it's a last song, we love our lives, we love our lifestyle, we're not going to sacrifice for nothing. That's why I like them in the North, especially the Fulani people. They are more than happy to sacrifice. But in the South, we know how to die, but we don't have to sacrifice. And that's what we're facing right now. Now, to the country in terms of security, is Tinubu willing to go all the way? Well, I would say it would be willing to go all the way in his second term, but not so much right now. Not because it's been protective of him winning the second term, because we need the continuity in this matter. If he does something crazy right now, who takes over? Who's going to take over? And whoever takes over, are they willing to go all the way? Imagine someone like Peter Obi taking over. Game over. That is not going to do anything. Imagine Atiku taking over. Atiku that withdrew his public statement about the northern girl. I think she was Christian, that was killed because she made a comment about the prophet. He withdrew a whole former VP with all his resources and wealth, withdrew his statement. Are such people willing to go all the way to save Nigerians? Nobody. I don't even see anybody in Nigeria. We all can talk, Tinubu's not doing this and that. He's only concerned about second term, like some people came earlier on the show to talk. But if you ask me, I say Tinubu is very, calculating, and he is the one that's capable of doing something at the end of the day. It will be like miracle, not magic, if we resolve this issue without, much violence across the country. This is insecurity stuff we're talking about. If we are able to do so, but I see it, just like anything else around. If you look at different cultures, different countries, how they came about their current you want to call it current formation in terms of peace and equality amongst the different groups in that country or different vying powers, they have to go through something like a war. We call it civil war, revolution, whatever. America did it, and many other countries they've done so. But we Nigerians want to tippy toe. Don't upset the Northerners. We don't want them to go crazy and start daggering us because we're all cowards. And the Yorubas are the coward ones, by the way. That's what we're facing right now. We need to take the fight to these people and go all the way. I'm not saying let's sacrifice our children, but nonetheless, we need the army to do some massive, pine left and right. That's what we need. If you guys are serious about anything, I said it before.
Sorry, Prince. Are we prepared for what that fight can unleash? If we decide to go all out against these people, are we prepared to deal with it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. One man.
One man. When the dust settles,
you're talking like a typical
Prince
Yoruba
Daddy,
person. One man.
Some people will be young before ICJ, so everybody has to be very careful. Everybody has to be very careful.
ICJ what? Okay, ICJ.
I don't
One man.
We had it in Rwanda. We had it in the Congo. We had it in Congo Brazzaville. We have it in Abidjan. We have it in Liberia. Where are those people now? They are all cooling their heels in Netherlands jail.
Yes, that's what I was about to say, Baba. I don't think we can win the fight against these people unless we internationalize it. You know, because the hierarchy of this insurgency, there are people above the Nigerian state. If the Sultan of Sokoto was involved, for instance, who is going to arrest him? What would that unleash? You know, if the Buhari family are involved, who is going to arrest them? What would that unleash? You know, so there
Well,
are.
man, your response is like a typical Southerner, a typical Yoruba person. That's what I'm saying. You're so more concerned about, how the feelings of certain people or this and that. If I was saying this thing and a Northerner was to respond, they're probably going to respond and support what I'm saying and say, yeah, let's go all the way. Well, let it be whatever it may be.
Sorry, but Prince, what I'm saying is Nigeria is not capacitated in terms of our security apparatus at the moment to handle what the Northerners can unleash. If they wrap narratives around religion and ethnicity, and we already know they have this just millions of malfeasant elements that serve no purpose other than just barbarism. If they not decide to unleash barbarism on Nigeria, Nigeria will collapse within a month.
Okay, well, I guess you just summarized.
I disagree, one man.
So let's just keep our mouth shut. Let's keep our mouth shut and just, kowtow, prostrate and move on. What can we do? And that's what you're telling me.
Baba, one man, Prince Daddy, if I may say something, please. I don't know if Baba you get this, but where one man is coming from and where Prince Daddy is coming from, they are both so far from the reality. One man is talking in so much ethnic and regional terms that he is oversimplifying the issue, and I don't think Prince Daddy even understands even the minute detail of what is actually happening, and he simplifies it more like Trump does. But life is not always black and white. So many other colors and different shades of gray. What is so difficult to understand about that? I mean, if you don't, one man gets it to some level, but he always seems to want to fall back to his preconceived notions, and he's not actually removing his emotions when he talks. And we know where Prince Daddy always comes from. So
no, we don't even have to look far. Recent history tells us what happened in Kosovo and in Bosnia.
And I totally agree.
It's a wake-up call for all of us. Where is Karadish today?
Something will give. Something will give.
Where is Karadish today? A lot of things went down there. Even nobody wants to remember. You understand? But at the end of the day, the Yugoslavia got fragmented, and a lot of people are cooling their heels in jail. All those war commanders. We saw what they did.
You want to tell me all the, again, you guys have summarized what I'm saying when it comes to.
I understand your position very well. You want the South. You want the South. You want to take the fight to them, but it doesn't really make sense.
The fight to them, Baba. We're not talking about. Is this not an issue, by the way, of like in Rwanda, the Hutus and the Tutsis going against? It's like tribal stuff or ethnic, whatever we're talking about. We're talking about the Nigerian state, the government, the state of Nigeria, declaring war on a group of people, even because they are.
I know what you're talking about. What stops us from flying maybe about 500 drones on most of the forest and kill a lot of people? But tomorrow, you will see people petitioning. Hold on. You will see a lot of petitioning, and these same West who are telling us now will bring in their observers into that same forest and start counting bodies. And some people will be held responsible. They've done it over and over and over again. So if you have to, it's a symmetrical war we are fighting. So we have to apply force with some level of caution in all of this. It's not
Yeah,
like they can
but
conquer
I
the
don't see
south
them.
or do
I don't
anything.
see them being cautious when they apply terror on the common people. I don't see them being cautious. This is what I'm talking about.
They
So
are a
I guess
different breed of animals entirely. I mean, if they are not animals, what manner of a man will pick up a machete wanting to slaughter a woman and we saying Allahu Akbar? You know what Allahu Akbar means? Allah is great, or Allah is the greatest before you slaughter a human
well,
being.
Baba, this I understand what you're saying, but your approach is a defeatist approach to this matter. That's what I'm
Oh
saying,
my
and I still
gosh.
maintain my position. Okay, I can ramble about me not understanding anything at all. That is fine, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me. But I mean, the solution, not like solution per se, but what I'm saying is quite clear, and I've made a demarcation in the two on the two sides. One side is one that happens to use violence at any point in time. Their proclivity for violence is so high, it puts the rest of the country, it disarms the rest of the country. That's the point I'm making. And someone said, well, the man that will be unleashed on the country, what happened to Rwanda and all this sort of nonsense. No, no, no. We're not fighting an ethnic war. We are not, unless you are mistaken. We are fighting between the state, a country, and against a terrorist organization within the country. That's quite clear. And I don't care if the damn terrorists are
If
Fulani
the
or Kanuri or whoever they may be.
Prince, if the ulamas and the imams in the north, and they have some, in the north as well, there are different strands of Islam competing, and there's a particular aggressive strand that seems to have the upper hand, which is Wahhabist. It's not even Wahhabism, but it's a deep inflection of Wahhabism, and that has been domesticized within that northern narrative for their ethno-political agenda, and it's really radicalized that space quite aggressively. So if they manage to convince the adherents, which there are millions of them, that the war is actually against the religion and not against insurgency, what do you think will happen against Nigeria if the ulamas, the imams, those people that control the narrative of that space, if they convince that space that this thing going on is a war against Islam, what do you think will and the influence of these people, it cascades all the way through the Sahel, the Malians, the Senegalese, the Chadians, all of these people that these people mind control. If they you don't
One
know what
man,
will come.
may
I
I
don't
say
think
something? May I
yeah,
say something to give you more depth from what you
yeah,
said?
yeah.
I think you are thinking of this in the wrong way, in the sense that you see, what we should concern ourselves about in Nigeria is the ones that will come from outside, not the ones that are inside. I mean, what Prince Daddy is trying to say, if I may try to extrapolate and make it more logical, is probably that the government be more, it carries out its fundamental responsibilities, of which to provide security. Now, just providing security by just brutal force and extrajudicial killings, or ethnic profiling, that will not solve the problem. What actually should happen is holding people to account, using the judicial process. Now, it is what is always right to do justice, to be fair, and to ensure that the law applies to all members of society. Now, that is society that is just and is setting itself to succeed. Now, when a government or president or the institutions that run a state is fundamentally corrupt, morally, and other things too, then you can begin to understand how rotten things are. But if we are saying that we can do the crude method when we apply our military and security architecture, then we have to anticipate, what would then happen, because we know that the ones that are inside will not only be the ones to fight, they would invite others from outside, and there are plenty of them, believe you me, and the weapons, and in the
Okay,
place we
I
are
get it.
situated as a
So
country.
like,
Let me just finish. So the place we are situated, like here in Bono, we are so much suffering. unable to finish our fight because we are bothering a place that is so just filled with weapons. The United Arab Emirates keeps bringing in large shipments of new ammunition into Sudan. It finds its way into Chad. It comes to these guys. The Libya thing is going on. The place is just, that Sahel region is just so bad. And this is like where these guys are rooted from. And if they can have, you would be surprised the kind of weapons that General Musa saw that are going through that corridor, that he believes it is better to fence off Nigeria, than to actually try to just be fighting internally, where there is an endless supply of what keeps it going from the outside. I don't know why a lot of people can't see this. Well, anyway, it is what it is.
Well, that's exactly what I just said.
I think one man. A lot of people praise that he waits. Have you seen in the Nigerian or the African map? Go look at the African map. Concentrates mostly on Nigeria, the northern parts. You will see a country called Niger. Niger is like a cap on top of Nigeria from the Lake Chad Basin straight to the extremity of Zamfara. They cap us. Then look at the neighboring countries that also borders Niger on their northern side. One, listen, Benin Republic, Burkina Faso, Mali, Chad, Libya, Algeria. They have 6 countries. That is the Sahelian side and the western part. So you can see the danger we are in. So when you look at the map, you come to understand exactly that we are just not fighting an ordinary war. That's why I always use the word that we are at war with ourselves.
Okay, so yeah, according to I guess a kind of logical conclusion is that Nigeria is a failed state. We are a captured people, therefore we must surrender to their will. Got it. That's the logical conclusion. Okay. Well, unlike some of
hold on.
That's a summary. Let me land. So unlike you people, I mean, of course.
What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you?
You are the
one man. Prince is American. He knows what I mean when I said that. He knows what.
Yeah, he doesn't care about Nigeria. And if Nigeria blows up, what does he care?
That's Rose Peru.
Actually,
you
because
people.
I care a lot about it. That's why. Because we all can permutate, right, into the future. I mean, I get what Baba is saying. A man can be unleashed right there up in the cap of Nigeria, as he puts it, and all this other stuff. Therefore, we shouldn't do anything, pretty much.
No. You are misinterpreting my point. If you've been following my commentary in recent times, no, let me finish this point. In recent times, you understand that, look, as how do they put it? Gambari pa Fulani, kulejonu. If a Fulani kills a Gambari man, what's my own inside? It doesn't concern me. Just don't bring that killing to my territory. It's as simple as that. And that's what has been going on since, until I felt threatened of late.
Actually, if Gambari pa Fulani actually concerns me because they are Nigerians.
It doesn't concern me.
Eventually, it will come to your doorstep. There's no doubt about that.
But that's why I'm up in arms now. I'm planning my own defense, but I will not attack anybody. I will not carry the fight to anybody. It's not in the fiber of our people to seek for other people's territory. The Yorubas are not covetous. But if you come for us, then we will defend ourselves, and brutally.
So, Baba, how come the Fulani stock, they've been defeated in most of the West African countries, but Nigeria is struggling with them?
Because they're too embedded. Sorry, Baba. They're too embedded within our system.
They took roots long centuries. And besides that, the Yorubas, they look wherever they are, on the island, for instance, where I belong, I can show you Agbolis starting from wants to come down from Kata Bridge, from Igaku Soko down, where they have been for centuries. They came early with religion, and we have intermarried. There are Fulani Lagosians. There are Fulani Oyo, Ilorin, Agbamu, Ila, Iwo, Ibadan. Iseyin, even Egba, Ijebus. So the bloodline is mixed already.
All right, there's even a Fulani councillor, I think somewhere in Oyo, that actually won an election. It's Fulani by blood, but Yoruba by orientation. But guys, let's try to bring other voices that have not spoken. Prince Daddy Land, then we bring Zita in. We've got the star as well. So I think somebody actually that they've discovered they had a wallet. This is Faye. It says, why do Africans worry about what Europeans think? This is an can you read that word for me? On emancipated slave mind. So yes, Kolo mentality. I think Fela Kuti already told us about that. But Prince Daddy Land, we go to Zita, we've got Jude joining us as well, and we got the star. We did have the star. And we did have Patoski, but I think they got lost in the funk of it all. But Land Prince Daddy, we go to Zita, and then we go to Jude. But if the star comes back, then we go to the star before Jude. Prince Daddy, back to you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Shoma, my neck will pass red one. Carry on. Sorry, Prince Daddy, for the interruption.
Yeah, no worries. So, yeah, I like to be optimistic, right? Rather than permutate the outcome of what could happen if we take extreme measures against these people to be doomsday. I'd rather be optimistic that hey, things can change or morph along the way to benefit us as a country in order to rescue that country from this hegemony, if I should put it that way. Quite frankly. But it doesn't sit well with me, what I'm hearing from all sides. I mean, my conclusion, of course, people are going to disagree that hey, we can't do much,
Let's just, I'm on your side. We are warriors. Let's go. I'm on your side.
Let's just tread carefully, and do as they desire. Lest we piss them off and they turn their daggers on us and tie all of us. Thank you, woman.
Oh, all right, brilliant, excellent. So we go on from that to Zita, who joins us. We've not heard from Zita in quite a few days. Zita, floor is yours. We're somewhat excited by the appointment of Christopher Musa as the new Minister of Defense, but we think a step in the right direction, but not far enough, seems to be what we're concluding. So, Zita, your thoughts. As we invite Zita in, can people please click on the like button, and if you're not already subscribed, then please do that. Zita, floor is yours. All right, we go to Jude then. I don't think Zita is fully with us yet. Jude.
Hey, one man, how you doing?
What going?
Sorry.
This is the Cameroonian guy that used to come on your panel.
Yeah, I'm like,
yes.
We've not seen him in a minute.
Yeah, I traveled to Cameroon. The guy from Bakassi, Baba T, everybody, Big Andy.
Jude, who's your president, man? Who's your president right now? Do you know?
Pobia has been killing us, man. One man. I've been listening to you guys, man. I came to tell you guys that Nigeria is a weak country, man. I went to the border, me being from Bakassi, they hold that border between Cameroon and Nigeria, all the way from Borno, all the way down south to Cross River, Calabar, Bakassi, all those areas. It's a no-go zone, I don't know. We used to see Nigeria as that country that can actually do things, but it seems like now it's a toothless bulldog. All you guys are doing is backing. There's no action behind it. People are suffering in that part of the world. A lot of Nigerians are fleeing. Even their militaries are diving into Cameroon. I'm telling you for a fact, I was there before the election. I just left. You know, there's a lot of things that Nigerians need to take
can
into
still take over
consideration.
your country. We can still take over your country.
Let me finish. Let me, as an outsider looking down on Nigerians, man, you guys are just, I mean, come on. How can you allow? How can you allow Fulani
One man, can you
men?
let me?
Let
Can
me
you let me talk
finish.
to this Cameroonian?
Let me. Your man, stay quiet.
Let him finish. We have to have
Let
some
me
sort of
finish.
structure.
Let me finish. How can you allow Fulani herdsmen, and these same Fulani herdsmen are also coming into Cameroon and causing havoc? And by the time the military want to set an eye on them, they escape back to Nigeria, because Nigeria is a free man's territory. Anything that goes into Nigeria, the military doesn't work. It seems like the center cannot hold anymore. Everybody is just, criminals are walking around rampantly. Nobody is in control of anything. Their population is let loose, fleeing all over the place. It's just a havoc going on in Africa. And Nigeria needs to stand on their toes. And I wish that Americans can actually come in and invade. I mean, I don't know, you don't have solution for your country, yet you don't want to allow people that can actually stimulate and cure the disease that is going on in that country to take control over it. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. The whole Lake Chad area. Don't forget, the former president of Chad died in the border of Nigeria and Chad, because he knew what terrorism was all about. Left his seat, went over to the border and got shot by the terrorists. And that was one of the reasons that happened. Nigerians have not been able to tackle that part of Africa, and it's becoming, the whole terrorists have invaded the place. Even Cameroon militaries used to go inside Nigeria to capture people, but for some reason, Nigerians told Cameroon military not to come into their own territory anymore. So, because they think Nigerian can handle it, but yet the Nigerian that we think can handle things, they are not doing it. Come on, man. Everybody is suffering all over the place. People used to do businesses between. That's why I tell you that the reason why terrorism is growing, because you have unemployed. The population is increasing. Nigeria does not care about birth control. I mean, there's large population. There's no, I mean, come on, man.
Hold it there.
Things are
Hold
not
it
happening.
there. Walter,
You
are
need
you
to
judo?
care about population.
Hold
People
it.
can't
Hold
just be
it.
giving
I
birth
say
to
hold it. You don't talk down on my nation just like that, because your Cameroon, where you come from, is nothing. Where a 105-year-old ancestor, a dinosaur of
We're
a
not
man,
talking
is
about, we're
ruling
talking
you,
about the
and you come
insecurity that
here
is
to
happening
come and
in
lampoon
that
my
part of the
country. Who are you
continent.
to do that? You shut up your
Come
mouth
on.
and stop
Shut
lampooning
my
my
mouth.
country. I will not allow you insult my people.
Is
Whether I'm
Nigeria
at
a
war with
country
my
to
people or
reckon
not,
with?
you don't have the
Come
bloody
on.
right.
Is
We keep
Nigeria a
quiet.
country
Shut
to
up there.
reckon with at
If
this
you have
point
a
in time?
country yourself, go sort your country out. Go meet your
Man, you're-
portia, a living bone of a man, a vegetable ruling you, and you come here to talk rubbish.
Is
Stop that,
Nigeria
man.
a country
Stop it and
to
shut up your mouth.
Baba, guys, I don't want to have to mute anybody, but
No, you
Baba,
cannot talk to me to a Nigerian. We cannot talk to about Nigeria in that kind of derogatory terms.
We're all Nigerians here. But let me just say this: we have to allow this guy to speak. Nigeria has opened itself up.
You should talk with respect, one man. I'm a Nigerian.
Baba, please now. We are all Nigerians here now, apart from today. But Nigeria has opened itself up for this sort of narrative. If we were as we should be, then people like Jude would not be able to say the things that they're saying. It's because of the way we have positioned ourselves that opens it up for him to be able to say things like that. So it's uncomfortable, but the window opens for him to say it. So let him say it. So finish your thoughts and then we'll move the conversation round. It's just where we are now that opens up. Imagine Cameroon, that Odo battalion will take over Cameroon in 1 week.
Which battalion? You guys are talking which battalion? Cameroon that is giving a safe haven for Nigerian military. You're talking about Nigeria taking over. Do you guys have the balls? We took over Bakassi from you guys because you guys don't have the balls to take it back. Let's be realistic when it comes to military might in Africa. You might have the population in military might, but do you have the IQ in fighting? No. At this point in time, you shouldn't even be calling Americans. Man, hold on, brother. At this point in time, you shouldn't.
bloody
No, let this guy
disrespectful
speak
to
now.
us.
Hold on. Just let him speak.
We have Cameroonians in multinational joint task force. We are seeing how they are performing. They are no good in any way, shape, or form. He has no
Cameroon
right
is not
to
even
be
a
there and stand up for
See
anything
this
now.
Fulani guy talking about the Cameroon is crushing you guys in Cameroon. That's why we
Who
elected
are
Paul
you?
Biya, who is a
Who
Saudi
is
now,
this
to
guy?
protect the Saudi. Hold on. We elected Paul Biya to protect the Saudi as the Christians from the Fulani because the opposition party was a guy from the north, a Fulani guy called Issa Shiroma. We had to shut him down. He escaped to Gambia because that's where his people came from. And these are the same Fulanis that we are stopping to spreading that stuff that is leaving Nigeria into Cameroon. They will never see the daylight when they cross their feet and meet the Cameroonian gendarmes. They will face their water low. We never stood low like that. I'm telling you for a fact. When you guys talk about your things, don't bring it closer to Cameroonians. Another thing, Cameroonians do not flee to Nigerians. Nigerians flee to Cameroon for a safe haven because the military protect Nigerians. Go to the border and see what is happening. The whole Borno is empty because their population is fleeing into Cameroon, Adamawa State. People are leaving Yola, fleeing in their numbers. Go online. I can send you videos on YouTube because your military is weak and you guys don't want to accept it. You can. I mean, Nigerians, when they talk of Nigeria, people should think it's a country where people are respected. Things are going on. Only 2% of Nigerians are living below poverty line. Above, maybe. The rest are all living below the poverty line. People are living hand to mouth. What are you talking about? You guys should.
No, hold on. Where did you get that
One man,
data from?
let us.
No, can you hold on, Asan? You've not stopped talking for the last 2 hours now. Let other voices have expression too. Where are you getting that data from? That only 2% of Nigerians
based on survey on the street, based on survey. You cannot have data online. You can go on the street and talk to people based on survey exactly. These are the people that you encounter.
2% of Nigerians.
Bro, based on the statistics that you see, people that are fleeing, majority of Nigerians, the data is not going to be online. I'm telling you about one-on-one. When you meet people,
of Nigerians are living above poverty level.
Or above poverty line, and when they talk 2%, it might be hyperbole.
I'm saying, where are you getting it from?
Based on what is it? Based on regular meetings with people. Go on YouTube. Even your Nigerians, when they flee to Ghana, go and listen to how they talk about what is happening in Nigeria. Nowadays, this is social media. Everything is online. Go to Borno. See women with flies all over the place, man. These are realities. This guy is talking about Niger being on the cap of Nigeria. That doesn't mean anything. When Africa, these boundaries were put by the colonial powers. If you have things like that, where is your military might? Niger couldn't be a problem to you. Your neighboring countries couldn't be. These are problems that you could solve it on your own. You're talking about impediments. Niger is up here. Chad, what is Chad? What is Niger? Everybody is encountering their own problems in their own country. Solve your own problem. Do not care about the next country beside you. But you don't.
So are we inviting Niger to solve our problem? I'm trying to see where the logic is in anything you're saying.
You're not inviting Niger, but this guy is talking about Niger being at the top of Nigeria. They are leaving their border loose, so everything is coming into Nigeria. How does that make sense? So if it comes into Nigeria, are you telling me you don't have the military might to solve problems? You have over 280 million population, yet you cannot provide military for your own people. How does that make sense? Fulanis are now overproducing.
When did you become 280? Yeah, just all right. Thank you, today. Let's go on to there's no consistency. I wanted you to speak, but
there's consistency, right? I came to Balmaya people. But one man, hold on. I came to Balmaya people because what is happening when I was in Cameroon, right?
You can badmouth the people now. If you have data to back it up, you are just babbling.
No, I have data. I mean, go online. I did not come with data, but I'm telling you, even to Nigeria, we provide data for you. But one man, when I went to Bakassi, right, and the people in Bakassi were telling me that they felt happy leaving Nigeria. I mean, because we are from that area. Most of the people that I talk to, they say they felt better now living out of Nigeria. I say, why? They say, have you seen what is happening now in Nigeria? They say life expectancy now in Nigeria, if you are not careful, you might not meet your 60 years. You might not celebrate your 60th birthday in Nigeria. If you are not careful, you might
Where
be
are you
lucky.
getting that from?
What you mean? Where am I getting that from? These are things of the people that are telling you one-on-one. You asking me what must I get it from somewhere? Things that are online, people put it online.
Hold on. You don't get to be right if you talk fast and you talk loud. That's not how you get to be right. You have to be consistent with logic and fact. Let me tell you this. I'm not sure if you are making up this encounter that you said you had or not, but it's really immaterial. If you are encountering these people are coming out of troubled spots within Nigeria. So if they are coming out of troubled spots, then their narrative will be harrowing. So you won't get a rosy picture from somebody escaping a troubled spot. And there are troubled spots dotted all over Nigeria, as I suspect, although your country is a Narnia, is a paradise, but I suspect there are troubled spots in your country too. And the people coming out of those troubled spots will paint you a harrowing picture. But I'm not quite sure where you're getting all these life expectancy in Nigeria. You can't meet 60. I don't know anybody that there's generations of so many generians, octo-septuagenarians, people living up to 100 quite easily in Nigeria, fully vested and invested in full end. But let's just move the conversation on. It's always a delight hearing you ramble, but maybe
Exactly.
you come with facts, facts over noise. Just
yeah, but you guys should fix your country, man.
You just came to poke at Nigerians.
I came to poke because the way Nigeria, for me, base alone, that country should divide and think people should move their way. Maybe there can be some kind of security.
You said I would still rather be a Nigerian than be a Cameroonian. That sounds like
come on. A place where there is no food to eat. The one man
like a fate worse than hell. I mean,
a place where a Fulani man is deposed as a minister of defense, yet they are bringing in another Fulani, a sympathizer of what is happening in Nigeria. And then you bring in another Fulani man as minister to sympathize with his people.
Better than having a vegetable as a president.
You don't reach my turn.
It's a failed country.
This Cameroonian guy, whilst we're waiting for you.
You call me.
We call you now. You've made us suffer this Cameroonian guy whilst we were waiting for you. But I thank you today. Always a delight. Let's hear from Zita. So, Zita, as I was saying to you when I was trying to bring you in, we were celebrating somewhat the emergence of Christopher Musa as the new chief of defense staff.
Where is he from?
It's from the north. Maybe Hassan will tell us. Or did Hassan drop? You see, people couldn't abide.
If he's from the middle belt, that's okay. But if he's from the north, no way.
Why? He's a Christian, No,
it doesn't work that way. If he's from the middle belt, you will hear some good news. But if he's from that corner, one man, what is going on there?
It's from Southern Kaduna. It's from Southern Kaduna.
Southern Kaduna, maybe he might walk, maybe. But I hope they won't go and burn down his house because those people are behaving like iPod. I hope they won't burn down his house in Southern Kaduna. Hello?
No, we're listening, but it's been long in situation. It was the chief of defense staff who was recently sacked, and then it was reappointed to replace now the retired minister of defense.
By the way, woman, sorry to cut you short. By the way, what took Tinubu too long to sack that idiot?
Which idiot?
The one he sacked.
Badaru?
Mm-hmm.
The minister of defense? It's not even what took him so long to sack him, Zita. We were actually checking the guy's CV, and there is no military anything, nothing to do with security in his CV. He was an accountant who became a governor and then became a minister of defense. There
And
is
when he sees Sake Matalawi or whatever you people call him,
that's where the question mark is. That's why people are not giving it the full applause, because Matawale now is still within that structure. He's the Minister of State for Defense, so and he's a known sympathizer of insurgency. So that's where the question is: when is Matawale going? We are hopeful that before the end of the week.
See the way you say it. He said it. What is the topic for today?
Yes, we were talking about Christopher Musa, as we said, because a lot of excitement wrapped around that. We were also talking about. We were also was that all we were talking about? We were also talking about Adeleke, who's resigned from the PDP, but is not wanted in the APC, so likely to end up at their Accord party or maybe even ABGA. Can you imagine Adeleke in ABGA?
He will
And
still
then
win.
well, he will still win no matter where he goes. And we were also talking about when they withdrew secure police details from VIPs, Atiku has now come out to say that it's an assassination attempt on him, that withdrawing police details from him is Tinubu trying to kill him. So I was suggesting then that he did not really read the mood of the country to make that comment, but Baba and Hassan, they somewhat disagree.
If he was a vice president, he was never a president. So, vice president, according to Nigerian constitution, when they leave office, how many years do they have to get federal government security details? That's what everybody should be checking. Secondly, it's long overdue he was a vice president. He's not supposed to be having federal government security details. That is one. Two, Atiku is a very wealthy man. If he can pay $35,000 for delegates to vote him in 2023, he can as well afford one of the highest securities in the world to guard him. So why is he complaining? I don't get it. Why is he complaining?
Well, the argument being put forward by Baba and Hassan is that because of the privileged information that he would have had as the vice president, he especially needs a guarding from the Janjaweed, I suspect.
No, it doesn't work that way. But again, that is a business that Tinubu has started for most Nigerians. You know, the people don't know how to utilize opportunities. The Gani Adams that was crying for what he knows and what he doesn't know, is it not time for them to start hiring him and his boys? All these Boko Haram boys that is shooting everywhere, they should be their bodyguard. How about that? When you come to the southeast, all those iPod boys that when you shoot them, bullet does not penetrate their body. Those politicians should hire them, the VIPs. They should be their bodyguard and they pay them good money, so that they should stop killing our law enforcement agents that are not even well staffed. There's nothing wrong with what Tinubu did. It's long overdue. They shouldn't be using federal government their security details. They shouldn't. They shouldn't. You see, one man.
We were all... Good.
You wanted to say something?
No. Land that thought, and then I'll say it.
What I'm saying is that, you see, when a change is coming, I usually use a particular situation or circumstances in one's everyday life to narrate how change feels. You see, one man, when every morning you wake up, you make a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, then you stir it. When you are stirring it, let's assume you are somebody who stares and clockwise. You start it clockwise. Some people actually do start fast. Clockwise, clockwise. Just try to start it anti-clockwise. Watch the tea and see what will happen. It's actually a kind of distortion. The water will check, the tea will check. It won't be that smooth. So most of the policies Tinubu is putting is actually good. Most of them. But that turnaround and that distortion, most citizens of countries don't understand it. Instead, they prefer the either clockwise or anti-clockwise, keep going until everything winds down. But it doesn't work that way. Those people are long overdue from them not using security. So, by the way, why should a VIP in Nigeria go and tell police to follow him about? What insult is that? Come on now. These people saying these things, they live overseas. Why would you, because you are a VIP, you call yourself celebrity, police will be following you about? Is that not annoying? Hire your private details. Is there any other topic? Who visited in Namdekal? I'm looking for.
I wanted to. How did you know somebody visited him? Eh? I wanted to play the clip. I don't think I have it now. It was Alex Oti, wasn't he? That flew in to visit your boy in wherever he is.
Okay, come. I hope he's behind the bars. Like, correct. Such he should be peeping through the bars to talk to them, right?
You mean Nande?
Now, that's what I want to see. I want to see a video of him behind the bars, and then he'll be talking to his visitors through. Do you know how they do in sales? Okay.
What I want to see is the interaction with the malams, with the abokis in the prison. You know, I want to see him calling them jam weeds to their faces. You know,
he no go try.
So they are calling jam weeds. They take their book and their holy book and talk rubbish about it. You know,
he can't do that now. They will mob him to death. You can't do that. The thing is that I thought they say he appealed the case.
I don't think
right?
it'll be an open. Yes, they said it should be brought. I think they said it wasn't brought to court or something. That guy is costing Nigeria a lot of money. Oh, that Nandekano.
No, wait. You said he didn't appeal the case.
Oh. They said they were going to launch their appeal the following Monday, but we've not heard anything since. You know?
I hope they sentence him to death penalty. They hand him over death penalty when he appealed.
Yes, I think there's a likelihood of that. Yeah. I think the appeal court might do that, and then the Supreme Court will transmute it back to life imprisonment.
No, they should sentence. You know, he had a lot of opportunities. His fellow leaders didn't have opportunity to even appear in court. When the military see them, they just whop up at them. Wipe aside. They wipe them the way they use wipes. But he has opportunity of going to court to shout and abuse people. The thing the thing went viral. That is madness. Some people were asking, who the heck is this?
A lot of people are against it, actually. Let me play you this clip, Azita.
I have come to say You carried me through the fire. You held my hand in the storm. When I was weak and weary, your love kept me strong. Emmanuel, I have come to say, Emmanuel, Emmanuel. I have come to say, from the rising of the morning to the setting of the sun, all my days I will be singing of the wonders you have done. Emmanuel, Emmanuel.
And we are going back with the memories that Sokoto is a land of hospitality. And we're happy. We're also happy to see our brother, our son, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has also become your son today by reason of circumstances that happened. And we're happy that you are taking good care of him. And our prayers is that God Almighty will continue to bless Sokoto State and the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the good brotherhood and the love that we all have for each other. Thank you very much once again, and may God continue to bless us all.
So that's Alex Oti taking a bit of oha soup to Sokoto so that Nnamdi Kanu is able to digest his now diet of tuwo shinkafa. But I didn't even know, is that his state governor? It's Nnamdi Kanu from Abia State. I didn't know
Yes,
that.
he's from Abia State.
Oh, okay, then that makes sense. Yeah.
This is
So that's
they're actually making that guy look him. They actually ended up making him important. That guy is an asshole. He's not supposed to be given the kind of attention he's been given, but it is what it is. What about Onjoko?
Which one is in Joko?
The one in
Oh, they don't forget that one now, Simon Ekpa.
So when he come out now, he says
They don't forget that one. They will forget Nnamdi Kanu soon as well, though. As soon as this phase dies out, they'll just forget him. They'll forget him now because life will move on. People will have bills to pay, children to send to school, life to hustle. I think the best thing was to send him to Sokoto because his voice cannot carry through from there. It will just vegetate there. And Nnamdi Kanu, by the way, is in his mid-50s. By the time he comes out of these things, he will be a broken man.
No, he cannot come out now. It's life imprisonment. Woman, what are you saying? That's life
but they will
imprisonment.
grant him amnesty at some point now. I think we all understand.
No, he shouldn't get any form of amnesty. For what? The people that is underground, do they have amnesty? Were they giving it? Woman, you don't know what those people did in Igbo land, but that's okay.
I've seen some clips, so it's quite gruesome. Some of the clips that I saw, Zita, they've left mental scars on me, and I'm a very robust sort of individual.
Woman, you see, that people on planet Earth seem to tend to people like this is actually scary. Honestly, sincerely speaking, that people will come out and be speaking on behalf of Nnamdi Kanu to the extent of going to visit him, and some people will even abuse you and hate you for saying what he's doing is wrong. It's actually scary on planet Earth. Honestly, sincerely speaking, you begin to wonder what world are we in?
He's a freedom fighter now. He's only agitating for his people. He's a freedom fighter, according to what we're being told. All he was asking politely was for Biafra.
He was agitating for his people. It sounds so nice.
Fire boy, really.
To agitate for your people, oh man, if you see, there is one they show me one day, the only son of his parents in front of his dad, in front of his mom, in front of his wife.
Did you
What
see the
did he
woman that they
do
were
wrong
cutting off
that
her?
he videoed them when they were doing their massacre? If you see the gruesomeness of how they buy this boy, oh man. You know that thing, Nnamdi Kalu is not from Abia, Imo State. Neither is he from Anambra. Njoku is not from Imo State. Neither is he from Anambra. But Njoku is from Ebonyi State. Nnamdi Kalu is from Abia State. The level of
Yeah, not even full Igbos anyway.
the level of the Imo State become the epicenter. What was just the reason? Because Port Uzodimba got the election through the Supreme Court. My senatorial district was a hell on earth for 2 years. Because that's where Hope Uzodimba came from. It was hell. The man fought them, they fought them. And now, you know, woman, I don't know whether you are watching what is happening in Africa. The way the insecurity in Africa, the way it's going, I'm not trying to go off your topic. You know, they used to say, is it United Nations that Africa has the young generation, right? Remind me. They said Africa has the young generation in the next 50 years.
Yes.
How many?
They said 1 in X amount of persons will be an African.
Indeed. You see, the way that we're preparing them, I don't think that thing will be visible. Because if you watch what is happening in Africa and look at the age they are wasting, I don't really think that thing is going to be visible. Because you can't be buying more than 1,000 people in a day in a continent and still claim you are going to be the young age. I don't know how that works. But those people are running around having supporters who screw rubbish. I heard Ronald Mockery is being rewarded. You didn't discuss that?
No, we discussed that in the earlier session. I was just trying to introduce that to you. Reno Mokri, Fulani Kayode, former INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, and then some ex-governors, etc. You know,
some of them might be rejected by that country. Depends on where they're sending them.
I don't expect Fulani Kayode to pass screening. It's just too wild.
He might pass. It's Nigeria, but it depends. They should be careful on the countries they send them because most of those countries might reject them because of the bullshit they've been saying. Because this internet screening now is at its peak because of the insecurity all over the world. I'm telling you. I was just watching what is going on here where I come for Thanksgiving. It was so funny. Oh man, we need this to solve the problem of insecurity in Nigeria. We need to solve the problem of insecurity. I want somebody who
Would
is...
you suggest that it's now an insurmountable? If you look at all of we have a heavy criminality in Nigeria anyway, and then that is overlaced by the goings on in the southeast, which you've already described, but even worse going on in the north. And then we have this Fulani agenda, and then we have external actors orchestrating the destruction of that country. Do you think we're in an insurmountable situation? Do you think it's beyond the capacity of Nigeria to cope?
I've said that before, yes. I've said that before. I'm not talking about emissaries, like using like this thing they're doing in the Sahel nation. No, that's not what I'm asking for. If Tinubu can actually liaise in a way that they come and take them out, period. You know, Qasem Soleimani style. You don't need to hurt anybody. All you need to hurt is, it's a strike. Anybody around those people might buy or might affect them buildings and things like that. But that's a minimal casualty anyway. So if he can get them to do it that way, it will be the best thing that will happen to Nigeria. Because let me tell you, when you
Are you
talk
talking
about
about Trump? Are you talking about Trump?
yes, from what I hear, they can do it. If you agree with them, they go and take them out. Period. You don't need to touch the
But you
headless
can't take them
people.
out. Hold on, Azita. You can't take them out that easily. These people are spread all over the country in cells,
Okay.
in clusters of about 50, 100, all over
That's
the
not the
country.
people.
So,
You took the word out of my mouth. Those are not the people I said they should take out. I don't know if you are watching what is happening in the United States as of today. A governor of a state is being audited. They said they have a lot of Somalians, refugees. What do they call them? Asylees in their country. So they put up in their state, they put up, which Olaoma is one of them, they put up all manner of programs, all these American welfare, blah, 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 things like that. And you know what these people do to it? They send it, they trust it back to, what's that, their Somalia militant. That's where those,
Al-Shabaab.
Al-Shabaab, that's
Al-Shabaab.
where, they said over $1 billion. So why
Minnesota.
am I saying this? One man. The people you are talking about are just foot soldiers. You see, in a war, the moment you weaken a head of state, the whole thing is all over now. If you know military very well, the target is the head of state. The moment you weaken him, the whole thing is all over. So chasing those foot soldiers, those ragtag smelling idiots running around Nigeria and running around Africa, buying people, you are wasting your bullet. Because the person recruiting them will continue to recruit them. The person giving them those arms and ammunition will continue to give them. Actually, those boys, their life is not even interesting. It doesn't mean anything. Because they buy them, they recruit another one. So they're not the problem. The problem is their sponsors. If Tinubu can agree, take out their sponsors, everywhere go quiet. It's as simple as it. But confidentiality is not possible because there is a need to interview witnesses and collect evidence. Is somebody talking?
sorry, carry on. I think somebody unmuted. Yeah, carry on.
So one man, that is actually something he need to sit down and they plan. I'm telling you, that's the only way this thing will stop. But if you think you keep sending your military, keep spying on them, keep running down your intelligent apparatus to tell those boys and everything, it is not gonna work. But I think Tinubu will do it if he wins again. You will be where you are, woman, and see that somebody was being struck inside Nigeria, and the skies will not fall. They know them. They know them. So those boys running everywhere on trend and on not sophisticated are not a problem. Because that looking at those boys, they cannot afford that ammunition and the guns they're using. They can't. So you have to stop what do they call it? You have to fix the root. Then because when you fix the root, those boys are kamukes. Honestly.
You know, if we are getting down to the rudimentaries, I wonder how much an AK cost in that space. You are looking at the better part of 250,000 naira, at least 250K, maybe even 500,000. You know, so somebody has to buy that for them.
Mhm.
You know, are they renting it? Then they have to teach them how to use it. So there's a whole industry behind this thing,
No,
you know,
woman.
and we claim to have an intelligence service. We have all these, we have the Defense Intelligence Service, we have the DSS, we have all manners of agencies purporting to be intelligence agencies, you know, and they cannot even, we've not yet caught one big fish in the 30 years we've been battling these people.
Because they're not battling them right now. You see, I will say this, and I will continue saying it. Let me not exaggerate. 60% of those ammunitions is Nigerian military's own. It's our own. The people that is giving it to them. Because do you know why I say that? Woman, there are some arms you cannot buy in as an individual in large quantity. You can buy one, you can buy two. But a large quantity like 100, 200, 300, no individual can buy that. So I know what I'm talking about. It's not allowed. Nobody is going to sell that kind of ammunition to an individual or a group of individuals that is not a nation, a state. No. So the question now is, how are they getting that level of ammunition? Obviously, it is not the manufacturers that are selling it to them.
The
That
Nigerian
one is,
military.
yes, is their this thing. If you catch any of them, anyway, we know the truth. That's just the truth. Because if you pick any of those things, you look at the number. It's Nigeria. Come on, let me they tell you. If you catch any of those AK-45, AK-100, even those drones they are using, look at the number. It's Nigeria. Because those things are tagged. That's why when you are fighting a war, you see a foreign ammunition, a weapon used in that war, all you need to do is to pick the pieces. With the pieces, you see the number, you know where it's coming from.
Yep.
Or you know who owns it. So if you pick any of those things those idiots are using, look at the number. It's Nigeria. The closest you might get, the farthest you might get is maybe the one that has Mali number or Burkina Faso or Niger. That I can assure you that 55 or 60% of it is Nigeria. They keep using our money, the United States signing for them, Russia signing for them to use our money to buy ammunition, the military share it to these boys, to kill us. What a nation. Those military men, you see those military men, if I have my way, I'll just line all of those, they are big, big boys. Because there is something I heard that anytime I remember it, jitters will run over me. Those 7 military men that were waylaid, it is the most annoying incident in the whole of this exercise, in the whole of this insecurity in Nigeria. That 7 military men that were waylaid is the most annoying. Their boss is supposed to be hanged with head upside down. Now me go talk am. Nobody else can say it. Because military mission is being decided by one person. It's not a round table discussion. So sometimes the boys don't even know where they're going. You move them. You time them. When they get to that, you give them the instruction, the hammer. So for them to leave and get waylaid by those rat tax, poo-smelling idiots, their boss need to be hanged. Well, who's going to do that? Nobody. Because we are in Nigeria. Woman, so
Actually, Daniel Buala, he came out over the last 2 days thereabouts, telling us that they are going to be releasing the names of the people that are actually sponsoring that. And
did
they've been
he get a ambassadorial list?
Daniel Buala.
Mm.
No, he's already gotten a position, but Reno got one, Fanikayode and all these.
Yeah,
But I
but
don't
I
know.
heard he met 10 women. That's nice.
Yes, 10 women.
I'm
But
so
that wasn't
happy.
even enough. Because people are still critical of that, the gender disparity in that list.
There are a lot of woman, you see, when things like this happen, I don't really do push so hard. Do you know why? In as much as I might not like some cultures and tradition that some decisions are based on before they are being taken, I will still also have to acknowledge that the world is a beautiful place. Every land has its own spirit. So in Africa, in Nigeria, women are not, according to our culture and tradition, they are not uh, people that is supposed to be in the hem of affairs. So whenever I see any leader like Obasanjo going outside of those things, tradition, culture, we like call class of women, they are supposed to be taken care of, not them being, uh, they are supposed to be taken care of, not them taking care of people. When I see people who go out of it to put them in positions of power, I really do appreciate it. Honestly, sincerely speaking, I appreciate it because it's not our culture, it's not our tradition. I might not like it, but I should also remember that the world is a beautiful place. Every spirit has its own, every land has its own spirit, and we should keep that spirit. That's all I can say. Then
All
it's
right.
okay.
All right. Brilliant. Azika, let's hear from the star, and we may start to wrap it up. I don't have none of the co-hosts are here to carry it on, and I think I'm spent. But the star, are you there?
Who is
All
the
right. We don't
star
think
now?
is the star is on the screen, but I'm not sure it's fully with the
The one
system.
that they wrote PA.
No, the star is on this. Let me remove that. And please, can people click on the like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribed? We're here every day. The conversation varies, but everything wraps around the
Oh man,
Nigerian
what
narrative.
happens? I've not been seeing you online.
Yes, I have a life outside of this, so it's just the pressure of time. Sometimes, it doesn't. Sometimes the most times the spirit is willing, but the time slot is not there. And sometimes I set it up, and by the time I get to want to do it, I've lost the motivation. And if I feel I'm not going to enjoy it, then I just don't do it. It's not as though I get anything out of it other than the
We are
fun.
going into election, no. But this election self is very quiet, one man.
Which election?
The coming election in Nigeria
Yes, now
is Dabarude.
we'll see how it plays out actually. Because everything is being thrown at it now. This insurgency that we're going through now, actually, I think is pretty much the Northerners revisiting the Chibok girl thing that they used to chase Goodluck Jonathan out of office. I had the anticipation that as we get closer to the elections, the Northerners will ratchet up insecurity, which is what is playing out. But the Peter Obi's narrative has dulled away, so there is nothing really there anymore. But now they want to incapacitate the government to show that they lack capacity to contend with the myriad of because the Tinubu was starting to make some very seismic gains. People are reporting really quantum improvements in electricity. We were talking about the nail funds. We were talking about the Naira strengthening up. We were talking about dirty December, and everything was starting to pick up again. And then they throw insurgency at it, and then we're back to that narrative of good luck Jonathan. So I think it's the North that is playing their hand now.
So what they're saying is that if election come now, they will tell people that vote me, I will take care of the insecurity.
Yes, I want to see what the I want to see what the narrative is for that election. Because we're starting to hear the Nigerian population say show working. So gaslighting will not work anymore, which is what Peter Obi used in 20 and Article 2 in 2020. Even gaslighting would not work anymore. So you have to tell us what you would do better, not what you think the other guy is doing badly. It's show
Yeah,
you
the
working.
way
You have to tell us what you are going to do to get us out of the situation you tell us that we're in. So you
okay.
say the economy has collapsed. Don't say vote for me because Tinubu collapsed the economy. Say vote for me because I'll do X, Y, Z. And detailed, not abstract, in India, in
Innuendo, not
China,
innuendo.
not China, China, no, China will not work this time around, though. In fact, it didn't even work the last time. But we don't want to hear China, Indonesia, Indonesia. Show us workings. That's just the thing. Are you going to bring back the subsidies in fuel and electricity and dollar or not? Because you say, oh, he met dollar, he met naira at 400 to the dollar. Look at it now. Okay, this is where we are now. What are you going to do to take it back there? Are you going to reintroduce the subsidy, or what will you do differently? Are you going to cancel the Sokoto Badagry Superhighway, the Lagos Calabar Superhighway, or not? You told us it's a waste of money. What are you going to do about insecurity? You are telling us you're going to what Peter Obi will tell you is he will declare a state of emergency. Everything he will declare a state of emergency. If you declare the state of emergency, then what? What in practical, actual terms are you going to do to elevate us from where we are to a better place? So gaslighting would not work this time around. Not the and not China, China. We don't want to hear China anymore. China, China, in China.
Now, see, what bad. Sometimes when I talk, people will say, this woman, you don't like Chinese or you don't like China. It's only somebody who did not understand the China dynamics that will shout China. I would rather say 80% of their intel come from US. It's a deal they make. Give me small of your intel. I'll use it to produce the thing and send to you to buy at a very cheap rate. So when a Nigerian president is shouting, look at the way China did this, look at the way China did this, look at the way China did this, is he ready to liaise with United States to be releasing their intels to him? Anyway, that's by the way. Again, one man, it's not all about shouting what Tinubu is not doing wrong. They have two things to show. Not how they will get it better, but what they did when they find themselves in that kind of situation. Because Atiku and
Go and verify now. Is that not what they told us? Go and verify. Go and verify.
Obi has one of the most ridiculous insecurity in Anambra State. I will continue saying it.
Terrible. Did you know that under Ngige, um the economy was bouncing in Anambra State. It was taking an upward curve. The poverty index was improving. Under Obi, it dipped quite heavily, and then under Willie Obiano, it started to improve again. So the two administrations that Obi sandwiched, they did vastly better than him. And Ngige has been coming out recently in little snippets of interviews that all of these things that this guy is claiming credit for, if you look at the trajectory of these things, they are actually my policies. So I can't even see anything that this guy, he tell us to go and verify. And when we go and verify and we present what we find to him, they'll call you a tribal bigot.
I came here one time and I told you that when Obiano took office, the insecurity was so bad that he declared state of emergency. He was using, you can pull it out from the internet. He was using bulldozers to pull down houses of kidnappers and robbers, ritualists in Anambra. It was so lucrative during the time of Obi insecurity. To the extent they were telling Obiano, sell the house, give him, use it at police station. He said no. That when he leave office, somebody might come and give it back to them. To the extent, even Buhari thanked him the way he was handling the insecurity in Anambra State. Somebody come here to tell me he did this, he did that. They will show us what they did, though. I don't even care whether they win Tinubu or anybody who will make Nigeria better. That's fine. But what I'm saying is that it's not all about telling stories.
All right, Zita, let me go sleep. It looks as though we don't have.
Somebody is snoring self. Let's go to bed. Anyway, I'm
Yes,
in the US. I'm not sleeping.
yes, I think that might well be. That shows you how exciting the session has been.
So,
Exciting
sorry,
enough.
let me ask you before you go. So, Adeleke is going to. When is the election?
Oh, the Osun State one.
Yeah.
Is it an off-cycle election? I'm not sure. If it's
Yes, it should be
cycle.
before the presidential election. I think so.
All right, let's check when. I would love it if you can go to Abga. Actually, that would be really interesting. They said 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's sometime in 2026. That's what.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why didn't they allow him in APC?
Between July and August.
Why
Because
didn't
he has too many enemies there. There are too many powerful people from his state that detest him in the APC. You know Oyetola, the guy that he replaced, this is an APC guy. Is the I think it's the minister for blue economy, whatever that means.
do
Yes,
nothing?
yes. You know,
But who is
and,
going to
and
contest with him now?
they'll probably it'll be like the Charles Sodudo sort of election. They'll just put some space filler person there. Everybody knows Adeleke is not leaving that place. It's very popular amongst his people.
Yeah, he's going to win. But he has
I
to
would love
choose.
him to go to Abga actually. Yeah, I would love to
No,
see
if no, I would love him to choose which Abga. I would love him to choose a ridiculous party.
No, there are two parties being muted, Accord Party or Abga. Those are the parties that they said is romancing with Accord or Abga.
If he use Abga, he will win all the Igbo people selling something there.
Yes, now.
They will vote
And you know
for
his
him.
wife is Igbo as well, so
That family has a lot of Igbo people there.
yes.
He can use Abga. Well, that Abga is good though. If Abga is in Osun State, at least let them have two states.
It would be good for Abga actually for them to break out of the narrowness of that
What
just a
of if he win and
regional.
come and decamp back to APC?
Well, that's most likely to happen now. Even Soludo, we're expecting him to decamp anytime soon.
He will do like no, he will finish before he decamp. He might not decamp.
Who will finish?
Soludo.
Yes, but Soludo has national ambitions, and if he has national ambitions, it needs to be in the APC sooner rather than later.
No, he's not. Soludo is not actually. He's intelligent, but he's not vibrant. He's not. I don't know how to put it. He's not. Hi, which word will I use now?
It's not street enough, Abby.
he's not. He doesn't have that momentum. That should be the word. He doesn't have that momentum. For you to come out, there are two ways you can come out in the national. The way Tinubu came out. When Tinubu was young, he had momentum. When he became very old, he went through the back, brought back his name to the forefront, and then did something significant and bring back his picture to Nigerians, more especially to the people who never really would, rather on normal circumstances, vote for him if he's coming out as a president. That is two ways. Or you have a momentum, you become somebody who is all over the place. Soludo is not. Soludo doesn't have. He's not doing anything in the north now. Neither is it. But this one you people are calling north. One man, if care is not taken, the northerners will lose that their good faith. I'm telling you.
What good faith are they enjoying?
The good faith they're enjoying is that any presidential candidate in Nigeria place them first. When I mean north, I mean northeast and northwest. They're always placed fourth. They spend more money campaigning there. They do their bidding. They almost actually beg them because they believe that number one, they're politically knowledgeable and they come out to vote. Quite unlike some regions in Nigeria who don't care. They don't care to vote. It's either they're seceding or they're angry or they will claim that their vote does not matter. But every time you call the Northerners, they will come out and queue up and vote. Even
The
when
North
they are
is
vote.
the most politically savvy
Yes.
region in Nigeria.
Yes.
They are
Now,
very sophisticated in their.
now this thing they're doing in the North, if they make it so chaotic that some of their citizens will not come out to vote, that is another way. Or secondly, they keep this thing, carry their vote like the Igbos, and give one man and another person with the rest of the region and become a president, they automatically lose that goodwill. That concentration on them will no longer happen. I'm telling you. And I foresee it happening in 2026, 2027. Trust me.
Yes,
If they don't take their time.
I think this is their biggest fear. If Tinubu wins that election, it will win it in spite of rather than because of the North.
Yes.
And if that happens, then they become demythified.
Yes.
And then because they are throwing their biggest hands now in terms of rolling out the weapons. So if Tinubu navigates through this space and goes on to win that election, that is the end of the mythicism.
That's
of
what
this
I'm saying.
northern
Yes.
something. Yeah.
Yes. They will lose that their good faith. They will lose that good. No presidential candidate will be showing that so much love and interest on that region again. More especially those northeast and northwest. Man, we have had it off our neck with them. I have had it up to my neck with them, honestly.
They are not progressive. They don't know how to advance anything. They don't build anything. All they're just satisfied to feed fat off the resources. There is not. Look how that country could be. We've had a good 2/3, at least 60% of that country's life under the leadership or even let's say the rulership of the North. Look what that country could have been. Look what it is for the abundance, for the opportunities, for the human capital. They are just happy to take the petrol money, go to the Middle East so that the Arabs can laugh at them. It's just they're just a ridiculous bunch.
I can't wait for that to happen. No. One man, I'm looking forward to it. I pray they lose that goodwill because for me, the way they talk, one man, the arrogance, the impetus, the guts, the annoying statements, and they say all these things. They just forget that their brother just left the seat. Their brother just left the seat.
Zeta beg me awaka.
Me too.
All right. We'll do it again tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Yes, we came out twice today. Zita, we had an earlier session with Ola did. Well, I was there a bit, then Ola took it over. The super chasters Faye, who seems to be a new name, and Chioma, who's slowly making her way back.
Where is Chioma self? I've not heard from her in a long while.
In the comment section, she's still, Chioma is a bit of a madam. She's playing hard to get at the moment. So that's now. Always a madam,
Go girl. Okay. No wala. If you see and greet her for me,
she's there now. She's saying hello to you in the comment section. She's just, in fact, once we even get her into the comment section, we have to go and pay libations to the gods, before we even show our face in the comment section. Look at that. In Yoruba land, we say, may God give mercy, give the spirit of mercy to the powerful. Then she is saying, good evening, Madam Zita. Zita,
okay.
thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.
All right, good night.